Okay, there we go. We are now live. Hello and welcome to the bonus roll. Uh,
Hi.
Hey y'all.
I am GM Gearnos. With me today is Ziziva, Tux, Demage, and Meryl. Um, yeah. Uh, Guys, if y'all want to say, wait, oh no, y'all already all said hello.
Yes, sounds like
So, this is our first stream. We're hoping to do this on a weekly basis. We will be starting roughly about now and running for about 4 hours or so, with a break at 2 o'clock, or sorry, with a break in 2 hours. We're going to be playing a 5e D&D Ravnica game. And before we get going, I'm going to go ahead and get the awkward describe your character's appearance out of the way now. So, rolling a d4, and Tux, you get to describe your character first.
Hooray. So, my character is a Simic Hybrid Ranger. He kind of got experimented on and lost a lot of his memories of, like, all the people he knows and stuff. So, he's not in the best place. And he's just kind of doing work for the Simic.
Tux, describe what your character looks like.
He's blue, kind of messed up, scales, and likes long walks on the beach, and
wow, the beach is like really comes out in your face, you know?
yeah. Anyways, yeah. So he's got like fish scales along part of his face. He's got kind of octopi tentacles over his forearms that currently allow him to climb very well. And like I said, he's a ranger. I think that's all I got.
Dog, I believe.
Okay, so Demage, you're up next.
All right, it's like I'm playing Gregor, and he's a goblin. It's like that's pretty much most of the description right there. But yeah, he's got some pretty big ears. He's got a like great big nose that's a bit red. It's like, and he's pretty much the smallest person in the party, give or take any familiars in animal companions. And it's like might be having a tussle with the dog. Who knows? It's like
The dog is actually a bit larger than you.
You can
Yeah,
have the dog.
I could if goblins were amicable to dogs, but I'm not sure about this.
The
I'm
Watcher's
pretty sure
tinier.
that's the thing.
Okay, so Meryl, let's hear about Rail.
So, Rail is a devoted researcher of the Simics and very fascinated with all things biomancy. He's a human, fairly young, brown hair, and always the most fashionable person in the room. And that's all he is. Nothing else.
Okay, someone said that there is no audio in the chat. Chat, can someone say if they're hearing us? Well, okay, they can hear us. Woo! All right, thank you,
Cool.
chat. Excellent.
Yay, stream delay.
Okay, Ingrid, you are now up. Let's hear about how you look.
Ingrid Corvidae is human and probably the youngest character in the group. Red hair, kind of short, and definitely looks like she's winging it in like all of her expressions 90% of the time. She carries around a side satchel and a practice familiar, which is not her familiar yet and on loan from her patron. That's Watcher, the pseudo-dragon.
Okay, so we got that.
Half the party is bald.
Yes, actually, that is true. Well, can you count a dragon as pseudo-dragon as bald?
It's hairless.
Yes.
Then more than half the party.
I don't know. Let's make a straw poll in chat.
On the bright side, a certain canine more than makes up for that.
Do we need to introduce Kay?
I think he'll introduce himself fairly well when he starts mauling someone. We're not sure who yet. But
He's a
Hopefully none of the
mastiff,
party
right?
members.
yeah, he's a very large mastiff. He's a mastiff about the size of a Great Dane. So imagine like a war dog. That is the general description of K. Watcher is a cute little pseudo dragon. He's got like kind of reddish black scales with shimmery gold yellow eyes. And like a nice little, not barb, but stinger tip on his tail. So, we've already done a couple pre-stream games just to get everyone comfortable with their characters, but we are going to be starting off with this now. So, here we go. You could... Oh. Forgot to turn off the AC. Okay. You awaken in a dark room, the dying embers of an old fire flickering and casting long shadows about. There's three other people around you, a large dog, and a small, almost cat-sized dragon that is watching quietly from a distance. None of you have a memory of how you came to this place. You have a vague impression of a silver envelope handed to you by a goblin boss, tucked into the folds of your new coat, sitting on a bag of kibble on your desk, or taped to the edge of your new shield that you've found that you picked up in your room. You look around, the room is all but dark with the exception of that, and see the people before you as was described by our players. The one exception from those descriptions is a small glowing thread tied around each of your wrists. What do you do?
Well, I guess I'm not
That's
getting those
curious.
pants dry cleaned today, huh?
Frail,
Oh, good, it talks.
what did you do?
I don't think this was me. The Lord
Seems like we're all in this predicament together.
Is your comb getting revenge now since you left it?
I use prestidigitation to make myself smell slightly like sulfur and tell him I'm not food, because my relief at hearing this lab creation talk is now been somewhat confused by the fact that it seems to be making no sense.
Like a sudden cloud of energy ripples away from the young girl in your group, and suddenly the whole room smells like sulfury brimstone.
Not food.
Thank you very much.
Do we have to start making endurance checks?
I'll let you know if you need to make a check.
I
Okay.
can tone back the smell.
So is there a thread around Kay's like paw?
No.
She goes ahead and
Okay,
ends
so
the
Kay
effect.
is like
Thank you.
untethered.
Okay, give me that one more time, Tux.
So Kay is untethered.
You are not tethered to anything. It's like, when you tie like a string around your finger to remind yourself of something.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you meant like it, like marionette like string, not like
No, it's just like
reminder.
tied
type
around
of
your wrist
thing.
with like
Okay.
a loose bow knot.
So like clearly I've forgotten something, which is not a state that's unfamiliar to me. So I guess the first thing is I'm going to check on Kay, make sure he's
Okay,
okay.
he
kind of-
snorts at you and then gives your face a lick and then ignores you pretty much.
Okay, so I'm just going to kind of scratch him on the head, make sure he's
Oh, that gets his attention. He leans into it a little. Yeah.
Now, is the room darkish?
It is pitch black with the exception of those embers from that dying fire.
Um,
All right.
so when we say pitch black,
Dark vision.
Like, it is dark, but there's enough light for your dark vision to show you like a 30 by 30 room. You don't immediately see a exit, but there is a kind of decayed looking corpse in one of the corners of the room. And across from that corner of the room, there is another glowing silvery thread attached to the wall.
That's simply lovely.
I'm gonna pick up my quarterstaff, look, and make my way over to the corpse. Like, wonder what this guy.
My instinct is that since clearly nobody's like tried to aggressively attack anyone, I'm probably gonna start like introducing myself. Like, hello, I'm Veridir. I'm with the Simic Combine. I'm gonna level with you. I'm not sure what happened or why I'm here.
Okay, Grigum, real quick, while you're inspecting the corpse, go ahead and make me an investigation roll.
Yay! Monks are good at those. That's a 16 to get.
16? That's not too bad. You basically take the quarterstaff and you poke it around and roll it. You roll it over and you see like the lower half of the corpse's jaw is missing. It's almost completely hairless. There's like a couple tufts of it, but you notice there's like a number of burn marks on its body and cuts and a few bludgeon marks, like where the arm is bent at an angle.
How fresh does all this look?
It looks... The wounds seem fresher than the corpse. Like that someone was beating on a dead body. And those threads tied around your wrist, the sparkle is starting to fade from them a little.
I'm mostly using Watcher to see the surroundings. And so I've been pinging.
Okay, Watcher is like... He skitters around, like, he's very cat-like. He's, like, crouching down, and he's, like, poking into the corners where you direct him to check. And you're just getting the basic impression from him of empty room.
If I cast
These
thoughts on the strand.
On yours, or on one of the other ones?
On mine.
Alright, the thread around your wrist kind of glimmers, and then disappears with a flash as a memory floods you. It is of a kind of thin-looking, pale with a light tan, like someone who normally spends most of his time inside but has suddenly started going outside more and more. So he has that weird, like, almost someone fake tanned him appearance. He's like, my name is Seven. You need to go and find the brass coin. You will be handsomely rewarded.
Interesting.
Okay,
The
so
wounds on this corpse have been applied post-mortem.
Hi. With all due respect, who the hell are you?
Regum.
And you... And I kind of motion towards the female.
She looks at you like she would normally stand up and reach out to shake hands, and then she just kind of stands up and gestures really awkwardly and says Ingrid.
Okay. So Grigum, Ingrid, would you like to introduce yourself? And I motion towards Rail.
Rail Corvino, also a Simic researcher. I think we might want to take a good look at these string things.
Agreed. Can I do a Arcana check on the string.
Yeah, go ahead and make your Arcana check.
Okay.
I'm gonna check this silver thread thing that's on the wall. Like,
Okay, what did you roll, Tux?
11.
11? It looks like a glowy string. All right, go ahead and what are you using to like look at? Are you checking it for magic, Greg, or are you like just seeing how it's adhered or what it is?
what it is / how it's adhered.
Okay, just go ahead and make me a general investigation check again.
Okay.
Does Watcher have a string also?
Nope, no string on Watcher.
That's
I
a
ask him if he knows what's going on.
Okay, what'd you roll, Mage?
That was a 7.
It's a very shiny looking thread, though the shine is starting to wear off a bit. Watcher looks up at you when you talk to him, Ingrid, and you just get this mental impression of blank. You see whatever was affected y'all to erase your memory seems to have affected him as well.
All right.
I think we better get to that thing real quick.
Yes, I'd like to cast Encode Thoughts on the string on the corpse as well.
Oh, there's no string on the corpse. There's one hanging on the wall. It's
Sorry.
across from the corpse.
Sorry, one on the
pointing
wall.
out.
Okay. You touch the string and it kind of unravels in another flash, and you have a memory of looking to the side, inspecting or watching back down a hallway. You're not sure. And then you hear a click sound, and you turn to look in the direction, and you see a swing blade just scythe through the air just an inch or two above Grigham's head before the memory fades.
So I'm safe, right?
Yeah, no, that was entirely in Rail's head.
Oh, that was
But I meant more that if it should go off again.
Probably.
right, sorry,
I'm
what?
too short for this ride.
We should be cautious. I think there may be traps here.
And I'd like to do an Arcana also.
On the string on your wrist?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll it.
Natural 20
Okay.
and a 3.
Wait, what?
Plus 3.
Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, there's no critical successes on skill checks, but still, that was pretty high in your experience with magic has been tutored, we shall say. You recognize this as a thought strand, a memory-containing device.
I'll go ahead and tell the rest of the party that I have heard of these, and I think they may contain our missing memory.
Well, someone's
Griggum will
missing
start fiddling
memories.
with it.
What's Grigham doing?
Fiddling with his string. He's like,
GM is mute.
There we go. Okay. It's just kind of tied on there with a loose knot. Like, it's easy to untie. It's like you pull two things and it comes off your wrist.
well, I mean, I'm going to have to pull one thing because trying to grab it with my other. Like, have you ever tried doing that?
Yes.
I can't do it. So,
Well, between your hand and your teeth, you manage to basically, like, tug the knot.
yeah, let's see if anything happens with it.
I may be able to help with those. I know a little knack for dealing with them. If you don't mind, I can activate them and then tell you what they contained.
So, did anything happen with the string?
You untied it.
Yeah.
Ingrid will actually take him up on the offer. She feels like, she's the one that told them what they did, so she kind of feels like they'd be backing down if she doesn't. So she'll head over to Rail to take him up on the offer.
So yeah, Encode Thoughts, and now he's. I'll parrot along what the memory contains.
Okay, so you touch the thought strand, and it dissolves into your memory. And it is a memory of Ingrid facing you, telling you something that would make her trust you if you repeated it to her. So, Ingrid, what does the memory say?
You can trust me.
I know I'm muted. I hadn't talked yet. It's actually just a string of the names of 5 obscure mushrooms.
So basically, like
All right.
Sibelius, I can't remember mushroom names now.
It'd have like the bird's nest one for fashion. It would have like a truffle. Mm.
Okay, so I'm assuming Rail repeats that back.
He am frantically looking scientific mushroom names.
I'll pass the names along, whatever they
Yeah.
are.
Okay.
I'm not sure. See, mine.
That's very personal info, Rail. That was on the string?
That was on the string.
Huh.
Mine didn't have anything like that. It had someone
Here.
calling himself
Here.
7.
Here, do me
Apparently
next.
getting the impression. Sure.
All right.
You can see me, right?
Encode thoughts.
The
Yes.
strand dissolves into Rail's memory, and just like Ingrid's, it is a memory of Griggum looking up at Rail, telling him something to repeat back to him that would say, "You can trust me."
Okay. He's like, what Rail says is basically, all right. Now repeat after me. He's like, listen, life is a waste of time. Time is a waste of life. But if you're wasted all the time, you'll have the time of your life.
An interesting philosophy, but I'll pass it along.
Okay.
Why the hell did I say that?
Well,
Interesting. So I'm
Question
gonna
only you
undo
can
my
answer.
string, but before I give it to Rail, I'm gonna put it in front of Kay so that Kay can get the scent,
Seriously, that was an ice cream cone if I ever heard one.
so that we could start tracking the scent if possible.
Okay. Go ahead and roll survival 4K.
Okay. I should have had that up. I apologize. Okay, survival is gonna be.
It would just be his wisdom plus proficiency if he's proficient in it. Otherwise, just wisdom. Ziz, you're kind of... Oh, there you go. Never mind, you're fine.
camera was refocused.
Focus. 15? Okay,
Yeah.
Kayla goes... And then walks over to Rail. And sits down and goes...
Okay. Well, I'm gonna hand mine to Rail. Do your thing, I guess. Oh.
Uh-oh. Looks like we may have lost Meryl.
Nope, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Whew. Scared me there. Okay,
Sorry.
so...
Holy crap, it blinked out of existence. How did you do that now?
You can't go. We don't know about 7 yet.
Sorry, trying to figure out how to set the avatar.
don't worry about it right now.
Don't worry about it.
Alright, so Fairdeer holds out his strand to you, I believe.
Alright. And let's see what he has.
It is
You can trust me.
not another memory of Fairdeer. It's another memory of that person who said his name was 7. He's a CoinKeep erases the last 24 hours of your memory, and then the memory blanks.
Okay.
I'm gonna look over the corpse again. Does it look familiar?
You rolled 16 earlier, right?
Yes.
No, it is like a complete stranger to you, and it looks like it's been dead for a couple weeks at least.
All right.
Does
Okay. So this isn't a Groundhog's Day situation.
So if I wanted
We're not
to,
gonna,
sorry.
we're not gonna run into corpses of our former attempts to get out of here, just like over and over again.
That would be very strange.
Wow.
Have you seen where we live?
Your character would immediately jump to that.
Have you seen where we live?
I wanted to kind of go CSI on this body. Would that be nature or medicine?
Medicine.
Okay. Can I make a medicine check on this?
Go ahead and roll it.
Okay.
So you said it was a blank room. Did we see like doors, windows, anything, or was it?
No, it looks like an empty
solid?
room. The only features was the corpse that Faradir and Grigam are staying over, and at the other side of the room, the strand was attached to the wall that gave Rail the memory of a scything blade.
Okay. 15.
15 on your medical examination.
Yes.
This corpse has been dead a while. Like you take a little knife and cut it open, and the blood is just completely congealed within it.
Okay. I'm probably gonna announce my findings to the party. And probably ask. Gregum, I believe you've inspected this corpse. Do you have anything that you noticed that I may have not?
Well, if you've taken a look at the wounds, as I mentioned earlier, like most of these have occurred post-mortem.
Mm-hmm. Which means either somebody with a lot of anger issues, or
An animal.
some sort of trap that would keep, like, basically just functions, if that makes sense. Like, the body's already dead, but it keeps doing its thing, would be my guess.
If he's, say, sitting on a switch.
Yes.
Or a murder hobo.
You don't see a switch or anything under the body.
Did we
It's a
hear
very
the,
real.
Did we hear the messages that Rail got from Seven, or?
No, they only appeared in Rail's mind.
Okay, because Rail was telling us about Seven. I didn't know how far he got because he got interrupted. So I'm going to go over and ask him, hey, what's that message you were telling us about Seven?
There's a very real possibility that this whole trap is timed.
I did want to, sorry, before I respond to the question, I want to ask, do I remember Seven at all? Like, is he somebody that I've met before?
Go ahead and roll me history, because you are from the area.
Should I do that too?
Sure.
Okay.
Oof. First roll of the campaign is a 6.
9.
Y'all have never heard the name before.
Nope.
I cannot say that you're not someone I'm familiar with, but you look very pale. Not someone who spends a lot of time outdoors. And he...
No offense, but that describes about 90% of the individuals I know.
Well, he has that impression of being pale, but also having like either a slightly darker skin tone, like he was this kind of pale caramel color. So he either was very new to being outside and was just like getting the start of a tan, or his tan was fading, or that's just his skin tone.
Okay. So say somebody with a naturally darker skin tone who has not seen much sunlight.
Did he say what he wanted?
Yes, he asked us to find a brass coin, and in the Faraday's strand, apparently coin keep, which I must presume is where we are, erases the last day of memory, which would explain why we don't know where we are.
Sorry. Coin keep?
I didn't make it up. I'm just passing the information along.
Okay.
Presumably we agreed to something within the last day.
Can I do another Arcana check on coin areas that erase memory?
I think that would be more history.
Okay.
Okay, so and maybe I didn't explain this,
two.
but I gave the strand to Kay so that he could track down the origin of it, which went to Rail. And since Rail is the one who can basically do something with these, I'm going to be under the assumption that this is some sort of methodology that we came to keep some degree of memory to keep ourselves on track. Rail, does this...
Sounds reasonable to me.
Okay. Does anybody have any sort of parchment and pen, maybe some sort of notes?
I pull out my calligraphy supplies.
Okay, do you have any like notes on you that you don't remember writing?
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
It's a 6.
You have a note for one robe from Barrow and Hill Tailors.
Yeah,
Good
apparently
choice.
I need eggs.
Well, we'll never find anything else out by staying in the same place. Is there a door to this room?
Well, the other thing
No.
we can figure out, I think, is that A, we've been here longer than 24 hours because obviously we've prepared for the thought strain. So I think that means that we've been here longer than 24 hours and have also realized the power that this thing is. So just to point that out.
I didn't think that my first crew was going to be this motley lot. It's like, come on. I was like, let's see if we can find a way to get out of here. It's like,
sure. The only thing is that we need to probably want to figure out which way we came from to get here. So
it's
that
a room with no doors. It's like, I think the first question is, let's find an entrance of where we can actually get in or out of.
I send Watcher up to look for any drafts or anything near the ceiling. And I also go ahead and cast False Life to give myself some bonus hit points in case something goes down.
Okay, go ahead
You know
and
what,
roll perception for Watcher.
That is a good point. He's like, I'm going to strike up a torch because I'm pretty sure not everyone is got dark vision. He's like, despite the conversation. He's like,
I was going to ask if we have all of our gear with us.
Yeah, you have everything, including like the stuff that you normally leave behind if you're just going out for a day. So you clearly grabbed your stuff when you headed out this way.
Watcher gets advantage on perception, so he has a 20.
Okay, Watcher kind of like flitters his wings, sniffs around the air, and swings over to the wall where the strand was, and he's like wings flapping a couple times, and you get a mental image of a stone that's just slightly raised up from the rest of the wall around it.
This way, there's a keystone.
Question, while all that was going on, so the brass coin is obviously of some significance to 7. I don't know, would this be an art history check or an arcana check just to know, like, is a brass coin of some significance in, like, say, alchemy or something like that?
Go ahead and make an arcana check.
Okay.
I have struck a light a torch. It's like,
that would be
a
23.
23? Okay.
Yeah.
You have no idea if brass coins are used often in alchemy, but you've heard of, coins being used to trade secrets and stuff like that with iconic, wow, I lost my ability to speak. Thank you.
Iconography?
Thank you. Iconography, carrying secret meanings. Greg, when you light the torch, you go from this low light and from the dying fire that y'all are around to and y'all go from dim light to lit out about 20 feet out, which fills most of the room.
Okay.
Right.
I also have a torch.
Yeah, you can light it up from mine.
I'm gonna ask about. Well, I know Rail is human, so he obviously wouldn't have it. Ingrid, do you need to see by?
She beckons Watcher back over to her now that he's helped, and he curls up and perches on her head. And she says, "We're good."
Okay. Okay, so how do we kind of want to proceed?
Well, look, I got a quarterstaff. Look, I'll poke at the keystone. Everyone lay low on the ground in case that's a trap trigger instead of a door opener. He's like,
Would you prefer Mage Hand to the keystone?
I mean, if you want to.
And I'm gonna lay on the floor and kind of do lie down to
Just be like,
Okay, kind of
good boy. Like a little piece of kibble.
I'll get back to the wall with my shield in front of me and Watcher curled inside the shield, and then I'll press up the stone with Mage Hand.
Grigum is going to kneel down because he's short enough as it is.
Rail, anything?
Rail is going to flatten himself against a wall.
Okay, so the spectral mage hand just kind of and wisps its way across the room, presses on the keystone, and there's this soft click sound for a moment and slow grinding, and a 10-foot section of the wall separates. Where it looked like it was solid, it just slides back to reveal a hallway, and then maybe 4 seconds later, 4 sharp scythe blades swing across the open pathway before retracting into the wall.
Lovely.
All right. This is clear.
Okay. Sorry, so the scythe blades, were they in the hallway or in the room?
They were in the wall, so it's starts 5 foot from where the door is, swings out to 5 foot past the door, and then retracts into the wall again.
Okay.
But the section of the wall that's slid aside stays down?
The section of the wall stays slid over, yes.
Okay. So
Only the patent man can
gonna kind of crawl prone in case that thing is on a timer and we'll go again to the hallway. Actually, before I get into the actual hallway, while I'm low, I'm probably gonna search for traps.
Okay, go ahead and make me a perception check.
Okay. Yes, 20.
20? You get up close to it and you see where the 2 stones are separated and this blade can come out. You don't see any other immediate traps, but you kind of oh wait, step back a second as another scything blade lower down across the entryway, and you see another 2 stones that have about maybe a 1/4-inch gap for the blade to fit through.
Okay. Is there any way I can access them to disable them?
You can definitely try and disable them, but it looks like you won't be able to get access to the mechanics without taking the wall apart.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So I'm probably going to point out these slits at least. Be like, that's where they're coming from.
Do we want to blast them?
If you want. And
She just
I guess
keep
I'm
moving.
going to move away from any of these slits I've identified.
She looks around to see if everyone's on board with blasting the spot where the blades come from.
I don't know why you're looking at me. I can't do anything.
I'm not really the blasting sort.
Okay, so she aims for the first of the blade spots that Fair Deer has identified.
Okay, so you're using Eldritch
Mute.
Blast.
You.
Hmm?
You're muted.
Oh, okay, so you're using Eldritch Blast?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you kind of hold up your hand and the crackling purple energy coalesces in your palm for a second. You direct it to the at the wall. Roll me an attack roll.
Eight.
Well, fortunately, walls don't have a great AC. So you blast the wall, and there's this nice little scorch mark, but no real damage.
Okay, well, maybe there's a mechanism on the other side to shut it off. Here, I'll try and get to it. I'm going to pretty much try and, I guess, do a flying leap through this thing. Just acrobatics my way through, hopefully trying to dodge anything that might come out. It's like,
Okay, go ahead and roll me acrobatics.
I'm actually good at that. 14?
You kind of like a wee cartwheel through the open door, and there's nothing.
Well, I came through all right.
I just imagine Greg like doing that, like, you know, like secret spy thing where they're trying to dodge the laser, like routine, and everybody else is like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Any more keystones?
I look
Not-
around.
Oh, on the outside, go ahead and roll me perception if you're in the hallway.
So me?
Yeah, Rail is not.
Yeah, I
following
think
yet.
just you right now.
Okay. That's a 12.
You're on mute.
I'm getting the hang of it. So you're in about a 10-foot wide hallway. It goes about 20 feet forward and then splits to the left and the right. You see like another like keystone sticking out of the wall near the doorway, and you kind of get the impression that this is what would open it from the other side.
No, there's one over here to close the door, but I don't think that's what we want.
Yeah.
So just come on. It's safe. It's like,
Out of character, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so about my climb.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say this would just be like a normal vertical climb, or could I, for instance, like climb up to the ceiling and climb across the ceiling?
You're trying to wall skitter. With your tentacles, I'll let you do it.
Okay. I guess I'll attempt to do that.
Okay. You kind of like your elbow tentacles kind of suction you to the wall, and you're like crossing your arms, and you're like those people with like the little suction cups, and then
Yeah.
go across the ceiling, and you're now on the ceiling above Grigum.
Okay. So no traps on the ceiling. Don't know if that helps anybody. I kind of, I guess, disengage and drop to like beside Grigum.
I keep an eye out in case one opens up again to try to blast while it's opening up.
Roll me your
friend?
athletics for that drop, Tux, or acrobatics, either one.
Oh wait, how? Sorry, I guess I didn't ask. How high up am I?
You were like 10 feet up.
Oh, okay. Then I'm just gonna skitter down. Sorry.
Okay.
theater of the mind, the ceiling wasn't that high, so I'm just skittering down.
My friend, you're a weird one. It's like,
Yeah, it's a living.
I mean, I would have pegged you for a swimmer, not a climber with those things.
Yeah,
He's a creature of many talents.
Also, it's a living.
yeah. I mean, look, I didn't choose this life. It was sort of like, well, I could
Look,
do
you're,
this.
you're preaching to the choir. I'm a goblin. I didn't choose this life either.
Yeah, I mean, I could have been a banker for the Orzhov, but you know,
Why the fuck do you want to do that?
exactly. Anyways,
So y'all got two of y'all in the hallway now. After that second blade scythe through, there's been no sign of it. Y'all are starting to get the impression that what happens is the mechanism that opens the door is also the mechanism that triggers the blade. First one, and then a second one a couple seconds later.
ah,
I wouldn't be
Alright,
surprised if it has a reset.
Come on.
So
Okay,
yeah,
Ingrid's
it's gonna
like,
follow
well,
out the hallway.
I'm feeling robust enough. Why don't you fly closer to the ceiling, though, Watcher? And she tries to, kind of keep out of the path of the one she's seen so far and rushes across.
Okay, so Watcher just kind of like makes that little trill sound that you're used to him making. And he like swoops up and then over does like kind of an arc over the openings through the doorway and just kind of flutters and then lands on the ground and like looks up at Griggum.
Hello to you too.
Rail, would you care to join us?
Yeah, I suppose I may as well.
I mean, what other option do you have? It's like, I suppose you could camp out in there.
No. Yeah, I'll follow.
At the mention of camping out, and since we have an unknown timetable, I actually check my rations to see how much I'm down.
You are down 1 day's rations, and as Rail walks through the door, Kay kind of like just and follows behind him.
Good boy.
Yeah. Oh, what was your name?
I appear to be down a day of rations, so that would support us being gone a day. I rarely eat out.
Yeah, we also probably want to get to the whole memory strand thing sooner rather than later.
All right, folks. We've got a fork in the road. Let's take it. We're going left.
Okay, we're going left.
All right.
So you turn left, and you see the hallway extend a good 30 feet before it splits again into a T-intersection. You can see the wall. Looking behind you, you see the hallway goes back about the same distance before cutting to the right.
Okay.
I'm going to actually take a moment and try to scratch a marker into the intersection where the path that we took.
Just using a weapon or like some chalk or what?
Do I have any chalk on me? I do not actually have any chalk. That's an oversight.
I mean, it's like, I do have calligraphy supplies, but I doubt that's going to be too much helpful here.
What are y'all trying to do?
Mark our path. It's like,
I could mark it for an hour.
but can you mark it several times throughout an hour? It's like,
I believe so.
No.
Out of curiosity, what exactly is in a tinder box?
Twigs, some tinder, flint, and
Steel.
steel.
So I could potentially put some twigs in kind of an arrow shape at least.
Yeah, easily. Or you could take a dagger and like carve or scratch in the wall, or pretty much anything you want, really.
Yeah, I'll probably do that. Just scratch a line in the wall, or sort of an arrow.
Okay, so which direction are you having it point? Towards the next T intersection or towards the right bank?
Towards the T intersection, I think.
Okay, so you kind of like it makes like that, nails on a chalkboard sound as you scratch a arrow into the wall. But you've marked the wall.
Maybe
Oh,
a
jeez.
little bit quieter.
Well,
Especially for those with bigger ears.
stealthily.
Well, done is done. Let's forge onwards, shall we?
Uh-huh.
So
Actually, before we forge onward, I think I'm going to check for traps again.
go ahead and make a perception roll.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
23.
You poke around, and near as you can tell, there aren't any traps.
Okay, I relay this information.
Okay,
I
let's
think
get going.
if anybody doesn't object, since I have dark vision and I can check for traps to sort of lead the way.
Alright. It's like, if you insist. It's like,
Unfortunately, don't seem to have any torches of my own.
oh, here, you can have mine.
Okay, yeah, that works too.
Grigham's torch is enough to create a good, 20-foot lit range that you can see in well enough.
And I have dark vision to begin with, so it's like, I mostly lit it for the benefit of those who didn't have it.
Yeah, it creates a 20-foot range of light and then another 20 feet of dim light out past that. So y'all can see fairly well around you right now.
But in all honesty, so Rail, you don't have any torches on you?
I do not.
Okay, I'm probably just going to give him
Sorry.
my torch, since...
Now we can dual wield torches.
Alright.
Okay.
Well, just so that he has a torch in his inventory. Like, that is his torch.
Okay.
I don't
go ahead
really
and mark that
see
down.
Okay.
We're like an hour in, and already we've loaded up one character with torches.
Rail, you are the torchbearer.
You your torch
Fair
back, but
I think to watch her really strongly watch Pathway and then make like a googly-eyed crisis face of Fair Deer. I'm emoticoning to watch her.
Okay.
do you not have a torch?
I don't have a torch.
Okay. I guess I'll give my torch to Ingrid, since Rail already has one.
Well, that would make it really hard to hold my shield and spellcast now, wouldn't it?
Do you have duct tape? No. That was out of character, sorry.
Yeah, no. In universe, it'd be flex tape, wouldn't it? No.
Is it bands?
I mean, you have rope, right?
I think I'll be okay.
Okay.
Okay, so when you mode at Watcher, he kind of like there's that little trill that he does, and then he like swoops and starts circling around Fairdeer's head before flying back to you and kind of resting on your shoulder, curling his tail around your neck.
By the way, did we ever figure out the sulfur smell thing?
Yes, I was convincing your Crassus senses that I was not food. It seems to have worked. Also, I didn't know from what you were saying early on that you were as intelligent as you are, so my apologies. Usually the ones I meet are not.
I don't know if I should feel good or bad.
Just take the compliment and move on.
Also, I'm Faradir. I don't...
Okay, this time she will shake your hand and say Ingrid.
Okay, I will make sure to make the tentacles kind of go back so that it's a little more humanoid.
Oh, that's right. You have bristicles.
Yeah, that actually doesn't bother her. She just, thought you might be trying to eat everyone. Earlier.
Yeah, I kind of get that reaction. That's fair.
So, Ingrid, you said you know some of that It's kind of wiggling his fingers. That kind of magic, right?
Yeah, a couple blasting spells and mage hand.
I don't know. I don't suppose you know anything to get dungeon schmutz out of a good coat.
Oh yeah, that one's an easy one.
I would greatly appreciate it.
And
Unfortunately,
she-
that's something I can't do myself.
It cleans up the party as they walk along.
Man, Rail now has a favorite party member.
It basically takes like 6 seconds per person, and she just like goes, "Oh wait," and then the cleaning
Oh, I
happens.
smell lilac.
I turned to Rail. Make sure that your comb is in good shape. I know how important that is to you.
It should be sparkly clean like everything. I don't understand the problem. Also, it no longer smells of sulfur.
Oh,
Hooray!
I smell lilac now.
So you find your way to the end of the tunnel in the direction you're going. It splits into a T intersection. One end travels a good 60 feet before it banks to the right and continues forward. The other direction goes a good 30 feet and then looks like it opens up into a room with this weird kind of red carpeting that you can barely make out from the light of the torch.
Just as a question, do I have to keep declaring that I'm checking for traps each hallway, or
You
Can we
check for
just-
traps when you say you check for traps.
can we just assume every time I go to a hallway I check for traps and just
I'm
based
going to
on my
assume
passive
that
perception?
I'm going to assume that your characters do something like go to the bathroom every day, eat every day. I'm not going to assume your character is checking for traps every day.
Okay, so
Hey, carpeting, human trappings.
I checked.
Yeah, that was my.
Well, I guess at first we need like which direction we intend to go, and mark it with the dagger, and then check for traps.
The room definitely is a more appealing option right now. Like,
Indeed.
So y'all are going to go to the right and head into that room.
carpeted room, yeah.
Okay, so
Why not?
mark it with the dagger, and then obviously this is the normal dagger, not the magical one. I'm not.
Yeah, it's not the extraction dagger. So,
I'm doing it with the disposable dagger. And
Brigham is making a map as he goes along. That's like
yeah, good.
smart.
very crude map, but
Check for traps.
All right, go ahead and roll your perception as you're walking down the hallway.
18.
All right. You don't see any traps. Are the rest of y'all following behind him, or are y'all waiting for him to like go into the room?
I'm waiting for like an OK symbol.
I'm following behind, but Watcher's also checking for traps, like I messaged him.
Okay, go ahead and make the perception check for Watcher.
19.
19. Okay, Watcher does not find any traps either.
I don't relay this, but we proceed with fair confidence.
Okay, so y'all enter the room, and it's
I'm still waiting for a signal.
Oh, okay.
Rail figures, well, carpeting gives off a kind of homey aura. This must be a safe room.
It's very feng shui.
Okay, so what's Rail doing?
He's going to follow along behind.
And Grigham's just hanging out back at the junction then?
Brigham's pretty much like,
All right, so
and then just continues forward anyway because we haven't worked out communication.
Well, it depends, because have you told somebody that if there's no traps to give a signal? Because
so
I figured that was typical trap finder behavior.
okay, so as y'all walk down the hallway and step into the room, I need everyone to make a perception check.
Because it's either that or someone just goes, found a trap.
17.
17.
Or sorry,
12. I'm rolling a lot of 11s today.
16 for me and 17 for Watcher.
8 for Rail.
oh, should I roll for K?
Yeah.
Okay. 9.
Okay, so y'all notice something as you take your first steps into the room. The carpeting isn't so much made out of carpeting, it's like this thick, rubbery material, and it's wet.
Well,
You step on it, and it squishes around your foot. And
Oh.
with that, I'm going to transition your page to. There we go.
oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. It's like,
It's like
we're in the mouth, we're in the mouth, we're in the mouth.
a number of eyes and mouths open up on the floor around y'all, and you can hear this like sound before like voices start like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Wait. It's just it's constant gibbering. Go ahead and pull open your character journal and drag your character token as to where y'all are positioned in this extremely tiny room.
Which door is the one we entered through?
Y'all entered in through the one at the top. And I need to work on that positioning some.
Wait.
How do we get the tokens? They're not showing on screen anymore.
It should be under Journal. Click on Journal.
Okay.
And then drag it to the screen.
Which door did we come in?
Y'all came in from the one at the north.
Okay, then that would put Tux and me in the lead, probably.
And give me a second to alter this. I did not mean to make it that tiny.
Okay, good.
I can't believe
Well, no, the
carpet
room
was-
is supposed to be that tiny. Needs to be more visible.
So we came in from the top or like the
Yeah.
side?
Hold on, I'm about to reposition the room
Okay. All right.
so that it's not in the upper corner and invisible to like the audience.
I have boxes stuck on mine. Are they showing on yours?
Okay, there we go. There, that should be more visible. Let me move back to the token layer. And go ahead and move yourself to where you are. And what were you asking, Ingrid?
It's probably okay.
That's not a thing to say.
Having map issues where it shows blocks with my name overlaying the map.
That's odd. Let me take a look.
You moved it, so
Okay, I see what happened.
it didn't pull over correct tokens, and they're stuck as blocks on my screen. But it shouldn't be a big deal.
All right. And Rail, where are you at?
Maybe the hallway, since Fair Deer and I went first.
Okay. And this pillar of like flesh and eyes and mouth starts to well up out of the ground, and it's just a cacophony of voices jammering and yammering at you. And I need everyone to roll initiative.
All right. Let's see how this goes.
Here we go.
Yep. 14.
Note to self: do not do big wind-ups. It's like 7.
17.
I've got 20, and Watcher has 14. Who else had 14?
I had 14 as well.
Okay.
And don't forget, roll well. I've got my eye on you.
GM, you're mute.
All right. So monster rolled a 2. So what is the order?
Who rolled 17?
Oh, I didn't roll for K, sorry.
I thought he automatically went after you.
Yeah, K
Okay.
goes after Tux.
Okay, so
Okay.
17 then.
Okay, so it's me, then Tux, and then Watcher and Meryl go at the same time, and then Damage, and then the monster. So I'm gonna cast Hex.
right. That is a charisma check, saving throw, right?
Okay, this is a bonus action.
Okay. So as a bonus action, you're casting Hex.
Usually it says so at the top, and I'm not
Hold on.
sure it's not showing it right now.
Creations, campaigns. Thank you, D&D Beyond. Okay, view campaign. View Ingrid. Spells. Hex. Hex is a...
And I will do it for strength, by the way, for the disadvantage if it lands.
Oh, it doesn't require a check.
I wasn't sure about that, but yeah.
Okay, so yeah, no check required. All right, so it has disadvantage on strength.
And I'll go ahead and do an Eldritch Blast, and then I want to fall back slightly to the edge of the hallway, just so I have like half cover, maybe. I don't know. Depends on the angle.
Go ahead and roll your damage. I mean your attack. Sorry.
Um, 21.
21. That will hit it. Go ahead and roll damage.
9 damage.
9 damage.
Oh, plus the d6 from Hex.
Okay.
Another 2.
So 11 total.
Mhm.
Alrighty. And you are concentrating on Hex. Alright, Fairdeer, you're up.
Okay, guess I just try to attack it with my longbow.
Alright. Yeah, you're within range. Go ahead.
That's a 14 to hit.
Alright. That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay.
Watcher's on my shoulder, so put him there.
Yeah, I couldn't make him tiny.
That's okay. He's just on my shoulder, so he's on my spot.
Okay, that's 8, 9, 10. 11.
11 damage.
Yes.
Alright, so first this blast of Eldritch energy slams into the thing. It's all wah 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 wah. And then like a couple arrow shoots from Fairdeer. It's like into the thing's side, and the arrow and the blast like soak into its body and leave like injury marks. Like you can see where it traveled, but it's not bleeding or anything like that. All right. So next is Watcher.
Wait. K.
Oh right, yeah. K acts after you. Sorry.
So I'm gonna assume that I can move K up.
You can move K up to your speed, and you can move past allies in combat.
Okay.
Or up to his speed.
I guess he's gonna attack.
Alright, go ahead. So, K kind of, like, wiggles his way between Rail and Grimm and, like, runs up to the creature and is like, ah. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Okay. $17.
17, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
7 piercing.
7, okay. Alright, then now it's Watcher's turn.
And Watcher does really not want to attack. It's gonna, just try to send some mental images of like you run at it, trying to tell the creature to run.
I'll go ahead and let you make a persuasion roll.
Let's see. That'll be a flat roll for Watcher. 12.
Okay. Watcher sends these mental images to it. We'll see what happens on its turn. Rail, you're up.
So first off, I'm going to drop the torch that I was holding.
Okay. Clatters to the ground, then the shadows cast all over the place, but you still gain some light.
Right, because I need to have a free hand. And I'm going to step in behind Kay.
Pardon? right.
And cast Shillelagh upon myself.
Okay, so you hold your hand over your cane, and the crow on your walking cap just like kind of buffs out, gets all swole looking crow.
Right. And for an actual action, let's try Guiding Bolt.
Okay, go ahead and wait. Is that a saving throw one, or is that?
That is a ranged spell attack.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack.
15 plus. Where is that? 15 plus 4, I believe.
All right, that hits. Go ahead and roll
Oh, sorry.
damage.
15 plus 6.
You were casting that first level, right?
Yes.
Okay.
First level spell. D6. D6. That deals 4d6. 5 plus 5 plus 2
46.
plus 5.
That is ridiculous.
Well, it's got some. The problem is that it has to pass AC.
Yeah,
So that dealt 17 damage.
and it had the next attack against it has advantage.
Exactly.
So what
What
does
kind of damage?
advantage?
No, damage. What kind of damage? Radiant? Was it?
Oh yeah, it's
Radiant
radiant
damage.
Okay.
46 radiant damage.
So
So
you
17.
you kind of point your crow at him, and it's like it almost looks like its mouth opens for a second, even though it's a solid piece of wood, metal, and this like blast of energy shoots out just over Kay's head to strike into like the center mass of the creature, and it looks like feathers are starting to like drift down around it.
Vile thing.
All right, that brings it up to Greg.
Alright, look. So, look. Here's what's gonna happen. Look, my mouse will cooperate with me. Look, I'm gonna start make my way downtown. Look,
Yeah, do you need me to move the K?
no. It's like you're fine. It's like
Okay.
because I've got the skills to correct this.
Nice.
Oh, yay, flanking. Is that still a thing?
Yes, flanking
Yes.
is a thing. You have advantage on your attacks now.
Nice.
Hooray.
Now, does it get an attack of opportunity? It's like,
No,
question.
you didn't enter its range and then leave it.
all right, that's fair enough. It's like,
It's one of the rule
So-
changes that I'm happier about from 3 to 5.
Yeah, no Congo line of death.
so it's like, I am pretty much. I'm going to spend a key it's like, to perform flurry of blows. It's like,
Okay. Go ahead and make your first attack roll.
yeah, that probably is the thing to do first. It's like, yeah, I have to make the attack first before I spend the
Yeah.
key point. It's like,
You do have
Gonna be-
advantage on it, though.
I'm going to be
What?
striking with my quarterstaff on this one. It's like, functionally no different. It's like, okay. All right.
What do we roll?
It's a 9.
9? You, like, strike it, and, like, oh, it's going to miss, and the thing kind of turns to look at you, and it's, like, bends, and as it bends, it moves just in the place where you just strike down at that little curve of its body.
Oh, wait. I forgot advantage.
Yeah, I
Yes,
was about to
ask, was it
say.
9 with
Yeah.
advantage?
10.
You still hit it.
Better.
You still hit it. You, like, it's turning around to look at you, and you're just, like, whack at that little curve of its spine part. So go ahead and roll damage.
That's 8.
8.
Yes.
Bludgeoning.
All right. Go ahead, and then you're doing flurry of blows, which is
Yeah.
another 2 or 3 hits.
Another 2 hits. It's like,
Okay.
I'm gonna have 2 dice now for.
You have advantage still.
Yeah, like that's why I'm using advantage. It's like, let's see. So 23. It's like,
That's a hit.
and then. Wow, these green dice are doing crap all. My rainbow dice are just like have near crit hits.
Just shy of it.
Yeah, like this was a 19, so plus 6 is a 25. Like,
That also hits it then.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage for those.
all right, it's like. That's a 13. It's like
13
total.
damage?
Yeah. Do you want me to break the numbers down, or?
No, that's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, you guys all just pounce on this thing all at once, and y'all pummel it, shoot it with arrows. Greg, like, skitters around the side of it, comes up behind it, and just, like, staff strikes it, and then follows up with a quick 1-2 punch, and the thing's like, before it just kind of melts down into this lump of fatty flesh, and seems to go inert.
I
Because
mean, it would be hard to do a 1-2 punch with a staff in hand, so it's probably like a kick somewhere in there.
Oh, okay. Well,
Like,
I
probably
mean,
just
I
spin
picture-
around the
Side, not the
staff.
other.
I picture it as like you struck it, and then punch again. Alright, so that thing is either dead or unconscious. Y'all cannot quite tell. I'm going to transition y'all back to non-combat.
okay. Question: do I have the ability to recover my arrow?
Go ahead and let's see. That was 1 arrow.
Mm-hmm.
I actually continue concentrating on Hex because I can still move it within the hour.
Yep.
So I continue concentration, and I aim another couple Eldritch Blast at the pile of goo.
Alright, so you recovered the arrow pretty easily. It's kind of in there deep, so you're kind of like having to root your hand around in this like flesh jelly almost to pull it out,
Ugh.
but you get it. So
Yeah.
you successfully recovered 1 arrow that smells absolutely horrible.
So after I scorch the pile, I clean the arrow so it doesn't smell bad with us.
Okay, so like you just blast it several times, like psh, 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 with the Eldritch Blast, and it kind of like makes this hot doggy burning flesh smell that's not at all pleasant, but it's clearly not moving.
I think it's dead.
Oh dear. Ugh.
You can investigate. I mean, you have a proven track record for going up to corpses.
Why not?
I think I'm quite
Can I
alright.
do a medicine check, see if there's anything interesting with this corpse?
Sure, go ahead and make a medicine roll.
7.
It has a lot of mouths and a lot of eyes. Like, way more than you're comfortable with. Something
Okay.
in the neighborhood of 20.
And you're from the Cynic, so
really
that's saying something.
Ravnicandinists in business. How does it floss?
I don't
Doesn't.
think that was much of a concern for it.
So, now that y'all have
Some
a
kind
minute
of-
to look around, y'all are in a 20 by 20 foot room. There's the entryway y'all came in behind y'all, and to your left and to your right is another 2 hallways. The left goes down a couple, maybe 30 feet, and then again turns and continues on. The hallway to your left goes like not even 20 feet, it's just like a short little burst, and then you see an opening into this room with a glowing firelight coming from the ground.
Okay, guys, which direction?
Could
Fires are homey too, but that has me a bit worried at the moment.
all right. I'm I'm gonna be honest, I kind of zoned out there for a little bit. I was like,
Fire's a
could you
little...
repeat the directions again?
Oh, okay. So y'all are facing south right now. So to your
Right.
left is a hallway that goes about 30, 40 feet and then turns back from the direction that y'all came from, back north. And to your right is a like 20-foot hallway with like this firelight glow coming from the floor in the next room as near as you can see.
Alright, no windows or anything, just
Nope.
stonework.
Yeah, it's all like dark cut stone, and the air is the air is clear, but there's like a dampness to it, like a wet. And if you take a sniff around, it's like it smells very musty and rotted.
Mm.
Okay, sorry.
Well, in my experience, it's like,
Stay away from the rot.
no, actually, it's like when you're looking for something, look for dangerous things. Because it's likely they'll stick them there.
If you say so. Oh,
Things.
sorry
That's
about your
what I'm
torch, by
going
the
to
way.
do.
Well, don't worry about it. It's like, never needed it anyway. It's like,
Yeah, well, I'm gonna pick it back up
for
for the moment.
traps.
Go ahead and roll.
which direction?
12.
Watcher will check for traps in the direction of the fiery glow.
Oh yeah, in case I didn't specify, that's the direction I was checking.
And gets a 14. It's basically just following him whenever he checks and checking again.
Okay, so y'all can work together and just have one person making a check at advantage, y'all know. But the two of y'all,
Good to know.
That is true.
Watcher and Faraday, are kind of peeking, and they check the floors and the ceilings for drops, and like they don't see anything that looks trappy, but you don't see anything that looks like a trap. They can peer into the next room, and they see there is a separation from one end of the room to another, and a 20-foot wide river of just molten lava is pouring from the wall and flowing across the floor and down a crack in the far wall.
Thank goodness the floor is not lava.
Not all of it.
Not all of it.
So what about the ceiling? Ceiling is intact?
The ceiling looks mostly intact. There's some cracks in it and damage, but nothing like it looks like it's going to collapse on y'all.
I guess more specifically, if I did the whole spider climb thing, like went up a wall, up the ceiling, and then down to the other side of the 20-foot thing, like would that be doable?
As long as you avoid like the big crack in the side wall where the lava is flowing out, yeah, you should be able to get around that pretty easily.
Anyone have a water block?
Sorry?
Does anyone have a water block?
I'm afraid not.
We need 2 so that we can create an infinite water source first. Joex!
Minecraft.
With the obsidian. Okay, so I can get to the other side pretty easily, it seems like, and also we have rope, so if we need to cross this...
Rope over lava doesn't have the best structural integrity.
Yeah, no.
We could investigate the other way first. Could be a good option too.
That might be the best course of action. Sadly, I left my lead shoes at home.
There may be another level, deeper or higher. That is actually a better way around. Or a parallel room.
Yeah, I can't fault the logic. Come on. Let's see what the other way has to offer us.
Okay, so when we go back on the marking, I'm going to make kind of like a Roman numeral 1. And then write out like the new direction and then put like a 2.
Okay, so y'all kind of edge around the lump of waxy flesh that y'all have left in that room, and head on down to the other hallway, and y'all follow it down to corridor, and about maybe 5 feet from the turn in the room, the hallway, you start to hear like this low music tone. It's just like a simple like background sound. It's not like someone's listening to a grand opera. It's more something playing to
Kind
keep noise up.
kind of like, oh.
It's more like just it's not super.
So it's like the musical equivalent of a backup singer.
It's pretty much just like someone wound a music box and left it running on loop.
Okay.
Okay, so first
Yeah, I got it.
order probably check for traps since the other ones were using timing and music box type things tend to be mechanical.
Okay, go ahead
Yeah.
and make your check.
Okay.
I was gonna say you mean mechanical, right?
17.
You don't find any traps.
Okay.
And Watcher's still kind of like following him and half trolling him and checking too, and got a 13.
Okay, nothing. Basically,
I kind of. What would I use to try to sense, like, if this was some sort of spell attempt?
Like Arcana?
I would go with Arcana. Yeah.
Just making sure. Also, can I do an Arcana check on the music?
Okay, go ahead.
15.
I mean, there you don't recognize any spell components in it. You know that some magic users can use music as a medium, but there's nothing magical about this, it seems.
Okay, so we're probably not going to be lulled into a zombified state by the music.
You mean fascinated, right?
Sure.
Something like that.
Ingrid's kind of got annoyed by now with him like stopping everyone every few minutes, and she just starts striding off.
Okay.
With
So,
Watcher.
walking into the, following the hallway down?
Yeah.
Okay, so you take a left turn, and the hallway continues on like another 20 feet and then opens up into this large 40 by 30 foot room. There's a cot in one corner, a desk at the far end, a chest of drawers, and there's like a very well-dressed gentleman, like coat, tails, hat. He's sitting at the desk holding a book reading. He looks up as you come in and taps this little disc on the table next to him, and the music stops. He's like, yes, hello?
Does he look kind of like the skin tone that was described earlier?
No, he's very pale with a mustache and very short cropped hair.
So she will make a short bow and say, "Hello, sir. How are you?" But loud enough that they can, hear that she's talking to someone.
He kind of takes a slip of paper and puts in his book and closes it. Well, y'all managed to get this deep into Coin Keep, huh? Did the creature in the last room give you any trouble? I've been stuck here for a few weeks now.
Ingrid, you shouldn't run off like that. And I'm just come chasing up after her.
Did we hear?
Girls gonna stroll after.
What'd you say, Tux?
Did we hear the few weeks part?
Yeah, he's talking at a normal volume, so if you're within
I'm
about...
going to ask him, how did he know that was a few weeks if this place keeps wiping your memory every 24 hours?
He holds up his journal.
Okay.
Oh, yes, the monster has been neutralized. We don't seem too worse for wear, I would think.
Ah, excellent. Then I can continue my exploration. I'm going to have to pack up.
While you're packing up, could we have a look at your journal so that we're kind of on the same page? It seems like we may have aligned interests.
Well, my interests are my own, and I don't see any reason why you should have access to my private thoughts.
Do you
Okay.
need any help packing up?
Oh, no, I'm quite fine with it. And he goes over to the cabinet and pulls out this large, maybe 2 foot by 2 foot square of just black material, and he just kind of drops it on the floor, and it opens out into this maybe 10 foot wide black hole in the floor. He's like, yep, I'm good. And he starts hauling stuff into and just like toppling it into the hole.
Just out of curiosity,
Hmm.
can I just make an Arcana check to see if I know what the hell he's doing?
A portable hole.
Go ahead.
And Ingrid just watches with fascination as she is taught to whenever she encounters new magic.
9.
It is a hole in the floor, and he made it appear by dropping cloth on it. That is about all you know.
Hooray.
That is a neat trick.
It's a portable hole. It's like very handy storage space. It's like,
Yeah, my question is, would your character know that?
I think Brigham may have encountered
Yeah.
it before. I mean, he's worked with a couple different organizations.
Sure.
yeah. It's like
Plus, it's very obviously a portable hole.
Okay, so my character would in character know.
That it is a hole that they were
yeah,
making
like
out
I
of
wouldn't
carrying it.
understand the intricacies of what it can do, how much it can hold, but just it feels like a very common enough thing to see among guilds, like for
Okay.
storage. It's like
Plus, you recognize it as literally a hole that they carried around and dropped on the floor. So, I mean,
He said he would packing, so it'd be something you would carry with you, I would think.
yeah. So he tucks his journal under one arm and he kind of like drags the table over, and he starts like taking stuff off of the table. You can see now that it's closed. It has like a little dish with some food in it and like some writing implements, and he carefully reaches down and sets it, and his arm seems to go like pretty deep in there, down to his shoulder, setting stuff into there before he just like upends the table into the hole. And he starts going over and dragging over the chest of drawers and doing the same.
Ingrid
You
kind
are
of
a
starts the
strong
timer on.
individual.
Go ahead.
It's like you are a strong individual, sir.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, not much else to do but work out here.
Since
And,
Ingrid's not casting right now, she's kind of starting her short rest timer in case it takes them an hour to pack up. And she's having some rations, which now smell like candied pecans.
And I'm trying to keep Kay from eating Ingrid's rations.
Dear. And,
Yes, this is going to be a short rest.
I mean, y'all are free to use the room. There's no way out of here as near as I can tell. So, like, with that big pile of goo in the next room over, I was pretty much just not going anywhere for a while. And he takes the chest of drawers out and he starts putting clothes into the hole and then putting each of the drawers in themselves. I mean, he's not actually lifting anything heavy. He's just dragging stuff across the floor.
And,
Yeah, but
well,
even
maybe
still, it's
a
like,
stupid question. As far as you know from your journal, we have not met before, correct?
He kind of stops and he sighs, untucks the journal, and it's like, no.
Okay, just making sure. So apparently, my assumption is we came from two different directions.
Well, as
or
near,
we came in after him. And like,
well, I've never seen y'all before, apparently, but there's only.
so what is your name?
Oh, you can call me Uncle. No, that's a little formal. He just extends his hand and smiles, and so, call me Rybald.
Right.
Pleasure to meet you, Rybald. I am Virgo.
pleasure. And he doesn't actually shake his hand. Like, the second you reach out for him, he pulls his hand back.
Right.
You don't exactly seem like a comedian.
I find things funny.
Sure.
I'm just watching him pack.
He's more focused on, like, putting the stuff away. So, if y'all been here just recently, do you have any memory of coming in?
We do not.
We
Not supposed
probably
you
should
know.
warn him about the trap,
Why?
Trap? What
Well, if
trap?
he's been
so that he doesn't. If he was, I'm presuming that he was trying to get past the thing that we just.
The gibbering?
But that's a
Yeah.
dead end. It's like,
the direction we came from, there was some kind of bladed trap in the wall.
Oh, you're talking about that. Oh, yes, I know about that. No,
Okay, just making sure. Just trying to keep the things that could potentially kill us.
oh, no. I cleared out most of the ghoul nest before I got trapped in here.
Well, thank you.
Suppose,
well,
That's close.
I don't suppose you remember.
I'm sorry?
I don't suppose you remember how you wound up in here.
Oh, well, I mean, he holds up his journal. I'm fairly meticulous with documentation, and it's only every 24 hours or when you go to sleep. So, I came from the entrance, I crossed the lava river, I went to the left, and there was a hallway, and then a room with some ghouls. I cleared out most of them, and then I came back and, checked out this room, and then when I was on my way out, the mouther had appeared, was quite intent on not letting me through. So I came back here, pulled out my hole, and started making myself comfortable.
Well, it
Were you
appears to be
waiting for
dead.
something?
One more time?
Were you waiting for something?
The thing to leave, or someone to come and kill it?
Ah.
I mean, it wasn't there when I got here.
So the thing just popped up recently.
My journal says it's been about a week, 4 or 5 days. It's hard to keep precise time here.
Of course. And just out of curiosity, you haven't come across any brass coins.
He kind of arches a brow at you and smiles. Oh, no, that's... I mean, if my journal is to believe, that is not real. That is just a rumor.
A rumor.
Okay, but the exit was across the lava, correct?
Yes, I crossed the lava first, but there's an exit past that.
Okay, if you wouldn't mind kind of gesturing which directions, or was it pretty much right across?
Cross the lava, take a right, and then when you see the giant... He flips through his thing. The giant doors. That's how you get out. I didn't explore the other passageway off of there.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know if I'm ready to leave just yet.
Oh, no, I figure not. But it's good to know your escape routes.
we
So you
probably
said
should make
this
a note of
is-
this outside of our brains. And like,
Yeah, if Grigum, you have paper and you have ink and parchment, correct? Yeah, we should probably write all this down. Thank you.
Rybald kind of
Yeah,
chuckles,
excellent
and
idea.
he takes out another drawer, and he tosses a little notebook to Grigum. And so, there you go, boy. And then he resumes putting the last drawer in before just kind of tipping the chest of drawers over into the hole.
oh, thank you. Oh, I could always do with more paper. And like,
It's easier to keep all together if it's all together.
Sure.
all right. Thank you. You've been much help. It's like,
He's
that chuckle isn't doing you favors.
Oh, you are a funny one, my little friend. And he kind of moves over to his cot and he starts stripping the bed
Yeah,
sheets
sounds
off of
like.
it and folding it up before dropping those into the hole as well.
Oh yeah, so hilarious. You'd think I was part of the cult.
So there's no other branches off from this.
The
Correct. This is just a dead end room.
from here? No,
Sorry, I'm speaking out of character.
The way we came, there was another branch we didn't look down. At
Okay.
least.
yeah,
Yeah,
there,
yeah. It's like
Should we?
there's at least 2 other passages right out the gate from where we were. It's like that we didn't check. It's like
he kind of pulls the mattress off of the cot and drags it over and like whoop into the hole, and then he starts doing the same thing with like the actual frame of the cot. He's pretty much packing up the last bit of his stuff. It's
How long have we been around with him?
It's been about maybe 20 minutes now just watching him put his stuff away.
Yeah, maybe we should get going. I mean, he seems to have his
Own things to deal with.
things in order. Yeah.
He
I
kind
guess-
of like with a grunt pushes the cot into the hole and then like grips the edge of it and starts rolling it up, folds it, and then tucks it in his pocket. He's all, well, it was a nice little home while it was a home. Y'all can use it if you want.
Before you head out, if you don't mind, do you know where we are geographically?
I do not remember the exact route, but it was. My journal says the entrance that I used was in a undercity swamp. So maybe a mile underground.
Would I have
Fascinating.
any knowledge with my Undercity past of potential places we could have come from?
Go ahead and roll history.
Do I get advantage for my knowledge of Undercity paths?
Why not?
Still not good. 5. So, oh well.
You know about 20 swamps. There's a lot of places where like the water seeps down from above and makes this kind of swampy marsh area.
Well, that makes lots of sense.
Okay. I think we probably need to start investigating the other passages.
Rybald just kind of nods, tips his hat, walks past y'all around the corner, and is gone.
As lovely as those smells weren't, you are probably right.
Mm-hmm. So probably again do markings on the thing. As a retcon, now that I think about it, probably like Elvish runes of counting would probably be more thematically appropriate than Roman numerals. I don't know if that would be a thing in this world. But
Numerals are numerals.
yeah.
Like 1, 2, 3.
So basically, mark that off. That's whatever, and then the next sequence, the third.
Okay,
Continue
so
the message.
y'all are going back to the room with the mouther in it and then taking another path, or are y'all going to try and cross the lava?
I feel like we should double back, real quick,
Okay,
because it feels like this would be
The
doing so would be going further into the dungeon.
okay. Well,
Was there a southern path from the mouth there also? Or just the other one we came from?
there is the one y'all came from, the one to the lava room, and the one to this room.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
just-
back the way we came.
So y'all go back to the mouther room, and y'all look around, and Rybald is just gone. Like, no sign of him in the lava room, no sign of him in here.
It was quick for an old guy.
I'm very strong, so I'm glad we didn't make enemies of him. Prisoners.
So y'all are going to the right and back up the way y'all came? Okay. So y'all
Yeah, let's
hit
do
that
that.
little cross section that y'all came to first, and the hallway continues and then turns to the right, or then you can take the cross section to the left where y'all came from initially.
I feel like since I guess maybe this is naive of me. I'm going to assume that he said there was no brass coin that way. So I feel that since our ultimate goal is to try to find a brass coin, we should save that.
Here's the thing: the way he treated the talk of the brass coin, it made it feel like he believed that there was no such thing. This is a myth, an urban myth, like of some sort. Yeah. Well, again, it's probably a myth or a legend that he heard and just dismisses as being just that. It's
I hear you, but I feel that I guess
it's not to say that it
capitalism-
doesn't exist. It's the fact that he wasn't even looking for it. So it was like,
fair.
Watcher's checking for traps on the new path.
The one,
Unexplored one.
the head. Okay, go ahead and roll.
23.
Nope, no traps. It can be found.
Okay, Ingrid's gonna kind of like, guys, come on.
walking and talking.
So y'all walk to the end of the north passageway then, and it turns to the right, and you can look down. It goes down a long way, like way outside the light, way outside your visual range too.
Check for. I guess we just go along the way checking for traps.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
we're
roll.
just gonna make a steady pace.
Okay, that's 20.
Can only those trained give other people advantage, or
Hmm?
can only those trained give
No.
other people advantage? Or
You can
just,
always work together, and allowing as it's like something that you can actually do on your own.
As Brigham is probably one of the other person in the party with Tux that has dark vision, probably will help him out.
Who?
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Fairdeer.
Faraday. It's like,
All right. If you're helping Fairdeer roll with advantage.
Okay.
And Watcher actually naturally has advantage on perception checks, so
Yeah.
that's why he's not been assisting.
It's still going to be 22.
22.
Yeah, kind of like out of character. My thought process is that he doesn't know these people, and he's not really. My character doesn't know these people, doesn't particularly know what they're good and not good at, and isn't going to automatically rely on them
Okay.
to do.
So,
Brigham is more the opposite end of that, where he's like, I'm stuck in the same boat as these people. It's like,
Right.
I may as well give what help I can. He's like,
So like
if
now
we get out of this, I'm offering them a job.
so now that you've like helped him, he'll probably be more inclined to ask. Just like he wouldn't be the one to ask other people unless it's
Right.
made very clear to him that they're very good at this thing. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
like this is the second time we've worked together so far. The first time was examining the body. It's like,
okay. So y'all continue down the hallway. At first, it seemed like really far down, but y'all take maybe 20 feet and like, oh, there's the end of it. It's just far enough along to be like, okay, it's dark way past I can see. So y'all start down the hallway. You see, it looks like a dead end. Continuing all the way down to it, you start to notice like something moving along the wall. And as you approach it, you notice this thin red trickle leaking from a crack in the roof down the wall and down into like a hole in the floor, and it's just this thin red liquid, very not congealed or any jelly or anything like that. It's like rainwater almost.
Brigham, in full goblin fashion, is like,
Taste irony.
Mage hand to poke the hole
Like into the hole or just like poking at it?
into it to see if it goes deep, like through the floor.
The finger goes into the hole and like the red starts puddling around it.
Okay. And then she dissipates it.
Like the puddle stays for a few moments before it starts like draining fully.
And our out of character, our previous check for traps.
Nothing. Y'all didn't find any traps.
So if this were trapped, that check would have covered.
Yeah, if there was a trap
Yeah.
and if you had noticed it, it would have been there. But you didn't notice
Right.
any traps.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that, like, in
Yes.
the meta sense, I wanted to make sure that okay. Sorry.
Well,
You have checked the area for traps.
it tastes vaguely of iron, but doesn't seem like blood. Like too thin.
So rusted
Rats?
iron. I mean, it could just be a natural deposit. I assume.
Natural deposit, probably running up against a river. Like,
Probably
Yeah.
not the nicest thing to be drinking, though.
Maybe
yeah,
there's
like
like,
goblin. Like,
is it machinery on the other side?
Make a
actually,
perception
probably
check.
another good question is the water cold?
It's actually a room temperature warm.
So it's
17.
It's like,
You don't hear any
So-
machinery.
so it's probably stagnant water that it's draining from. Like,
It doesn't
collects over
taste
time.
stagnant. It just tastes like iron.
Yeah, but if it was running water, it would have been cooler. Like,
Yeah.
by nature. It's like, so it's probably like not so much stagnant, but at least like some gathering reservoir of water
Seeping.
that's draining out. Yeah, like that fills and drains out for one reason or another, probably naturally. It's like,
Okay, so also kind of out of character, would I have kind of picked up on the fact that Ingrid is probably from the Undercity?
I
At
don't
this
know why
point,
you would have, and that would be up to you.
Okay.
She definitely seems comfortable here.
Yeah. But she hasn't really done anything, and I guess this is more a question to Ingrid. You haven't let on the fact that you
I don't think anything in particular that I have. You could
most of the stuff she's been asking has been out of character.
you could do an insight check later if I do something that maybe would be.
Yeah, again, this was just an out of character question because I couldn't remember every interaction and if that was
Well,
stated.
I think the only thing I've done is talk about seeing Crassus before that were wild. And since you do hunt them on the surface,
Exactly.
there's
You
not
need
a lot of wild. That could be the only thing I could think of that would really give a chance for an insight check. But it would be personal to you, so maybe that would be enough.
I'd say the only one other thing that would probably have given it away was the list of mushrooms, like in particular.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe,
Could
yeah.
But then again, that either puts you in with
Like
the what was it?
Sorry.
Grigori? Like
Golgari.
Golgari? Like, is it?
Yeah.
So those would
Probably
have the
Silencia, right? Because they grow things.
Because I
maybe.
Okay.
It's like,
Okay. So because I live in a zonot, so I'd kind of be familiar with the underground. Can I make a roll to see if I could recognize those mushrooms as being like Undercity?
Go ahead and make a nature check.
Okay. No. A 5.
you know what?
Those were a bunch of funny words.
Okay.
You know what? It's like, I like to join in on this. It's like,
Nope.
I actually have a nature check, and I want to. It's like,
Yeah,
'cause
see, the thing is that. Sorry, I was just gonna ask, like, if she would have some sort of insight as to where, like, this waterwood came from the makeup, because she's from the underground. But that whole hinges on the idea that I have some sort of knowledge that she has.
all right, wow, the first good roll on these die on this die. That's going to be a 20 total.
Oh,
18
yeah.
plus 2. It's like,
You totally recognize like the mushrooms as being commonly grown by places that would grow them for food or for whatever the use of them is. They're not like wild growth mushrooms that would show up in like the Gurul areas or anything like that.
They're definitely a lot more like crop mushrooms.
They're
like
more often
cash crop.
cultivated.
Yeah. It's like, they're definitely cash crop mushrooms for whatever reason.
And actually, I did the scientific name of the mushrooms, so your character would be the least likely to know their mushrooms versus a researcher or a nature person.
I think we should just probably move on at this.
Yes, let's keep going. we've been talking like 5 minutes about mushrooms.
Well, how about instead we spend like another couple minutes talking about mushrooms, take a short 15-minute break,
Okay.
go stretch, get some water, hydrate, have some food, and we will pick up again in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Starting now, or
Yeah, sorry now. All right. Everyone in chat, thank you for joining us. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. We're taking a short break to, look how much I've been drinking. So I'll be back in a couple minutes.
See you guys in a bit.
Bye-bye.
There we go. Fixed it. All right. Forgot to fix the audio again. Okay. So, wow, I have to say that all over again. Came back a little late. Sorry.
Is the first.
We're getting started on this. Sorry about the no audio. That was my bad. We will be working on getting some ambient background music for while we're playing, as well as for during our breaks soon. Hopefully we can keep on doing this, and we can start doing stuff during our breaks, like art stream or commercial or anything like that. I haven't really mentioned it yet, but we're at 6 followers right now. I'd really love to see us hit 10 followers before the end of this, but if we don't, we don't. So, picking up where we left off, y'all are at the end of the corridor. There is this irony red liquid dripping run from the ceiling down into a little hole at the floor. And y'all were talking about mushrooms.
Yeah, I would suspect some machinery on the other side, but I don't hear anything humming, but it does seem a bit rusty.
What's dripping out of at ceiling level? Is just like a hole?
It's like there's a crack
Or
at
like
the
a
top
pipe
of
or
the
something.
ceiling, and it's just kind of flowing in through there. It's not so much like drip, drip, drip. It's more like a slow trickle.
And
Yeah.
the hole, does that seem like man-made or just like natural erosion?
It looks like it's just like a gap in the stonework.
Okay.
Interesting.
Did the corridor keep going, or did it stop here?
No, it stopped there. That is like a flat dead end.
Just take a little
Investigate
scrap of
the
cloth.
wall, I guess.
Okay, so what are you doing, Rail?
Just taking a little scrap of cloth, and I'm going to just soak up a little bit of whatever this liquid is, and keep the sample for later.
Okay, so you just hold up low. Go ahead and make your roll, Faradir. Am I muted?
No.
Okay. You were going to make an investigation?
Oh, I'm sorry. 16.
16. So you give the wall once over. It looks like this is some older stonework. It's cracked and not quite fitting together as well as it used to be. But you're not finding any openings or traps or sources of the water other than just that little trickle.
It seems odd to have such a long corridor where it comes to a dead end.
I asked Watcher if he'll go fly around again to look for another keystone.
All right, go ahead.
21.
Watcher gets on close and he scours all over the place and he looks back at you, trills, and doesn't seem to have found anything.
It does seem strange to go nowhere, but maybe we missed something in the hallway rather than the end. Might be worth backtracking a little bit, see if we see anything else.
Possibly.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Okay, so y'all going back the way y'all came to the intersection?
Yeah, and I think
Why not?
if I am interpreting this correctly, we're kind of looking around, feeling along the walls type of thing.
Okay, because it's pretty dark in there outside the torch. Not a problem
Yeah.
for the people with dark vision. Or the pseudo-dragon with dark vision rebroadcasting for you. But y'all travel
Should
back
really
down...
get-
What's up, bro?
Just think, I should really see about getting some kind of light source of my own when we get back to town.
You mean like the torch I gave you?
Yes, but torches don't last forever.
It's
Yeah,
been
yeah,
about an
no.
hour now, and torches are starting to get a little dim, but they're not going out on you just yet. Those things are designed to last for quite a while.
He seemed to be on his case an awful lot.
Well,
Y'all know each other?
yeah, co-workers. We're both from the Simic Combine.
She
Colleagues.
nods like she really doesn't understand.
We're researchers. Mostly.
Hmm. Fascinating.
He's a researcher too, pointing at Kay.
Okay, just
I
like...
just-
And I give him scritches.
He leans
More of
into
an
it.
assistant.
Huh.
So y'all get back to the intersection. Y'all have the direction down to the Gibberer's room, the passageway that y'all came from initially, that continues on past where y'all came out into it, and then the one y'all just came down.
So do y'all know a Dr. Cardot?
Can't say I'm familiar with that name.
Yeah, I'm assuming, should we make like a check for this?
History.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is like a random, just like. Okay, this would be 12.
That'll be a 16.
The name sounds familiar, but you can't place it.
Not personally familiar.
Yeah, it sounds familiar, but I can't say that I know the person.
I'm just
Friend of
trying to
yours?
scrape together recent memories since we know so little. I figure running into 3 Simic researchers may be strange. So, oh well. And then she continues looking at the walls.
I run into Simic researchers all the time. What are you talking about?
So most of the people I run into are Simic researchers
Exactly.
on a normal day. Yes.
So back down to the Gibberer room, or y'all going to go back up the way y'all came and check out that other branch of that hallway?
I think we're gonna check out the branch.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make my markings. Also, I'm probably going to ask some questions about, so apparently she knows that Dr. Cardot, and she knows that they're a Simic researcher, so maybe a couple of questions like what subject, how did they know this person, that sort of thing.
In character.
Y'all are free to talk among yourselves as y'all want. I'm not going to rush y'all along.
Okay, so I'm just going to be like, so how do you know this Dr. Cardot?
Oh, I'm big into looking into dreams, and he kind of looks at dreams and subconscious. Ran into him.
Okay.
I think I was above my head talking on the subject, but I remember the name, and since we remember so little of how we got here, I figured I'd ask. Especially
Sure.
with, memory, subconscious, lost memory. And she shrugs and just continues walking.
Skipping away. Don't mind me.
Yeah, that's not really hard. And I point to myself and Rails, our department.
She actually listens and she notes that, but she gives you no perception that she's listening.
Okay.
Grigum's ear twitches at this stuff. It's like basically his tell for like I am paying attention.
Grigum, go ahead and roll me a history check.
Absolutely. Let's see. It's my history bonus. Fun. That's a 6.
It's been bouncing around in your head for a little bit. Rail said a name. What was the name he said when he used the memories? You've heard it before. It's ringing a bell, but you can't place it. So y'all continue on down to that first intersection y'all came out of, and looking down the hallway, you see that 10-foot doorway is still open. Y'all know it's trapped, but it doesn't look like it's trapped. The hallway continues on past y'all another 40 feet before it turns to the right. Y'all gonna head on down to it?
Trap checking
Yeah, trap.
for the new hallway.
Go ahead and roll it.
Wait a minute. He's like,
Caution is for
Stand.
the pros.
21 for Watcher,
Okay.
who is actually, you could probably tell, old enough to be quite wary of traps. If y'all haven't paid real close attention to Watcher, his skin looks a little flaky and he has some bandages around him.
Oh,
wait a minute. Rail. I was like,
yes.
I got your name right? He's like,
Yes, rail.
all right, rail.
Like a
The
long
person who
metal
said
rail.
that, yes, like safety rail. I get that. No, hey. Anyway, you said the person that gave you this mission to find the brass coin. His name was Sven, right?
7.
7.
Like the number.
Right. Yeah. No. It's like I don't know. The name is bugging me. It's like I know it's Sven. I don't know it's 7. It's like. And the guy I'm thinking of is a law mage, so
I think I'm the only one that hasn't rolled acquaintance on if we know anyone named Seven.
You do know a notorious law mage, but you know a woman. And the one in the memory was definitely a man.
Okay.
And have we
Not that way.
enough
Thank
time
you.
for us to recheck if we know anything about this person since they came back up or no?
Sure, go ahead and roll a history.
I'm gonna just have Rail, describe him again as much detail as possible. It's like to aid us, I guess.
So I have a 19.
Alright, Rail, do you remember what he looked like?
I'm saying, a man who looked like either he had been pale or hadn't gotten much sun, but was either starting to develop a tan or was just losing one. Also, big mustache. Very big mustache. Like a walrus with a face.
The mustache.
So, this is off topic. Is anyone else
Yes.
concerned that if we find this coin, it's going to keep erasing our memory once we leave here?
Well, hopefully not.
Because, the
No, I mean-
keep erases memory, but if the coin's a magic item in the keep, is anyone else worried about that?
No, it just feels like the keep has this mechanism as a vault system. It's like, I guess. It's like, I don't even think that anything that was within the vault would have the properties of the vault.
So you're not worried it's the coin doing it and not the keep?
I mean,
well.
it's better to. I mean, if the coin is a particular note,
May not be worth bothering about that. Specific
If no one
question until
seems
we found
concerned,
the
she
coin.
just totally drops it and continues checking the
Okay.
hall and heading down.
I mean, it seems to be a thing attributed to the keep. It's like, so the coin seems to have a different connotation to it. And it's like, especially
Yeah.
since some people think that it doesn't exist. It's like,
All this talk of a coin.
Or they forgot they had it.
Gregum, go ahead and give me another history roll.
You know what? I'm going to use the new rainbow die. I was like, because that's been rolling better for me than the green one. I was like,
Good luck.
hey, it's a 10.
This is not the first time you've heard of a coin made out of an unusual material for, coin. You heard of it in passing, and a goblin boss mentioned having an interest in finding out what it looked like. Now continue on down the hallway, and it turns right. Oh,
wait. Oh yeah. It's like, wait. Huh. Wait. Oh yeah.
What's up?
Something to share with the rest of the class?
No. It's not important. It's not important. He's like, different case entirely. Anyway.
So y'all come to the end of the hallway, and y'all hear this wet, tearing, ripping sound from around the corner.
I'm assuming I'm still kind of in the lead, so I kind of like motion my hand to stop, even though half the party probably doesn't see the signal. I move to the basically flatten myself against the wall.
Are we within an hour or over an hour?
It's been over an hour now.
So would I have my slot back since we've not done anything strenuous?
Yeah, y'all just been kind of walking around talking. I'll go ahead and let you use a short rest if necessary.
So, signaled to the party to stop. I flatten myself against the wall, like kind of at the edge of the corner, and I guess I'll peek around.
All right, go ahead and make me a perception roll.
Okay.
You have dark vision, right?
Yes.
But go ahead and give me it for disadvantage because the light is pretty dim out where you're looking.
Okay. 14.
14? You can hear this wet, crunching, like pulling meat sound, but you can't see the source.
And would I notice if this was familiar from the creature we defeated before? Like this would be a different sound?
The gibbering was more like a lot of people talking over each other.
I'm going to do false life, by the way.
Okay.
The same amount, 7.
All right.
Okay, so the hallway is clear. It's just noises I'm hearing?
Yeah, the hallway goes about, I'd say 20 feet, and then it opens up into another room, and the sound's coming from that room.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of... I'm going to hold, like, kind of signal, like, stop, and I'm going to, I guess, try to stealthily kind of move down the hallway to, like, kind of similar thing, flat against the wall, like at the corner, and then peek around to the room.
All right, go ahead and roll me stealth.
Sure. That's a 19 stealth.
All right, you kind of like flatten up against the wall, and it's weird for a moment. The little tentacles at your wrist and the ones at your elbow kind of shift their color to be more stone-like. And you poke your head through, and you can barely just make out like a form hunched over a body laid on the ground, and the head goes like, and then it pulls back, and there's this wet tearing sound.
Was this a humanoid or animal?
It looks like a person.
Okay.
You can't make out the features, but you can see it. It
But
doesn't
it
seem
looked
to have
like
noticed you.
arms and legs rather than 4 legs, if that makes sense. At a glance.
You can see like a pair of hands, and you can see it kind of crouching down, but you can't like make out a number of limbs.
And roughly human shape or
Yeah.
size. Okay.
It's roughly humanoid. I mean, it's crouching down, so it could be anywhere from the size of Griggum up to you or Rail.
Okay. At this point, I'm probably signaling towards Griggum because he has dark vision. Is there? I guess my first question is there a line of sight between us?
Between you and Griggum, or between you and the creature?
Between me and Griggum, sorry.
Yeah,
Like,
no, y'all
can I
can see.
actually like motion them, or is it like no? The angles are such that
I
you
mean,
can't even communicate.
hold on. I think we lost Zizivo. Can you see us? Okay. Yeah, we lost Zizivo. 1 second.
Okay.
Alright.
I see you. You can see and hear us?
I see everyone. So
Okay.
I see and hear.
All right. Sorry about that. Technology is fun. Anyway, Griggum is. Griggum, would you be keeping an eye on Fairdeer, or would you be hanging back around the corner?
What's more advantageous for like fair deer, really? Because I definitely want to be a part of this.
I mean, basically, what I'm doing is I'm motioning to the party to come forward, but kind of like with a slow, like come stealthily.
Just very slowly, like.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I'm assuming by the body language, you could tell, okay, something's up, and he's wanting us to be careful.
So kind of like.
Yeah, exactly.
To which point I say very quietly to the rest of the group, okay, move up, but be quiet.
If y'all are making the approach, make me a stealth roll.
And I have disadvantage on stealth, unfortunately.
But do we get advantage because of darkness? Like,
I think that
12
would be a disadvantage.
and Watcher's on my shoulder.
What was your number again?
12.
9.
13. Why did I pick up this die again?
1 second. I believe it's a 20 for K.
Okay, so like K is like already by Fairdeer's side, and he's like, and let's see here. Rel, you rolled a 9, right? Am I muted?
No, you're good.
Rel?
Meryl?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you rolled a 9, right?
Rolled a 9.
Okay, so you guys all kind of like creep up. There's like a brief moment where a misstep from Rail makes his armor clank, and you all freeze. And the creature kind of lifts its head a little bit and looks around, and then its head goes back down and starts eating at the corpse again. You managed to just barely beat its perception.
Griggum pretty much just like.
Can we see it now from here?
Oh,
Perfect stuff.
I mean, y'all can see it, but it's still in dim light. Any more light is probably going to catch its attention.
Can we tell
Oh,
if
I
it's
would've-
wearing the clothes of the guy in the room?
It is naked.
The body.
The body, yes. The body is naked, and it is naked.
Okay.
Does it look... I'm trying to think, I'm not sure how to ask this. Does it look like a living creature or some kind of monstrosity?
I mean, it's definitely... I mean, it's moving around. It doesn't look like a monster, like, you know, tentacle waving in the air with 20 eyes and 6 mouths gibbering at you. Gibbering?
No.
Gibbering.
So it doesn't look 1/3
No.
fair deer?
No.
Hey,
I actually remember our conversations with people. It's like, does it look ghoulish?
Go ahead and make me a religion check.
Boy, howdy. It's like, pretty sure monks had access to this, but I sure as fucking didn't take it.
Yeah.
But I got an 18.
I mean, you
Sometimes
can't
pay attention.
you can't be 100% sure, but I mean, it's hitting all the notes. It's kind of hunched over. It's eating a corpse. It looks a little
Looks
emaciated and
humanoid.
railed. Then, yeah.
Okay. Also, so we've established that this is a humanoid, correct?
It has 2 arms and 2 legs. It is in humanoid shape. That does not necessarily mean it is a humanoid creature.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast Thaumaturgy.
Okay, what you doing?
So, how far away is the creature from us?
It is about 25 feet from y'all or so.
Okay, so from just beyond it, on the other side of it, because the spell has a range of 30 feet,
Mm-hmm.
I am going to cast Thaumaturgy and create a phantom growling sound. Like some big beast is coming to steal the kill.
Go ahead and roll me deception.
Alright. Natural 20!
Oh,
First one of the campaign.
well, I know
Okay,
we've had a couple 20 already, I think, but not
My
in
first
combat.
one of the campaign.
That's your
Yeah.
first 20. Okay, so its head shoots up and it looks around, and it then stops and sees nothing and turns back to its food.
Okay. Sorry, I may have spaced out a second. So, did we determine this was a ghoul for sure, or
It's something.
okay?
It's hitting the right notes to be a ghoul, but we don't have strict confirmation. It's like,
Yeah. So about that. So humanoids are my favorite enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So could I do I don't know what this would be. I guess it would be a perception check. With that noted, because it says information about your favorite enemy. Would that include identification? Or would I know that going?
I'd say go ahead and roll me a history check.
Okay. That's not going to do it. 5.
There's very few humanoids that live in dark areas eating the corpses of other humanoids.
Okay. I mean, I've heard things about the Golgari, but I'm going to assume at this point that that's not quite the case.
It is working that body. It's pretty much eating consistently. It's stripped all the meat off of one of the arms, and you can see it holding. And it's got these ragged teeth that are glinting in that low light, and it's just biting into the pectoral muscles now and stripping the flesh and meat off of it.
So where exactly is everybody? I'm assuming since everybody's seeing it,
we're pretty much 3 stooges eating this around
you're
the corner.
actually in the middle of the intersection, not just against the wall like I am, correct?
I assume y'all are all pressed up against the wall, kind of taking turns peeking around.
Including Kay on his little hind legs. No.
Kay is just watching his ears perch forward.
Please, it's like we don't want him to be Scooby. We don't want to be the Scooby. Let's.
Or do you?
His psychedelic painted wagon.
Lean into it.
Anyways, so
I think we're
Or
at the
take psychedelics and go in a wagon.
I think we're kind of at an impasse. We can't distract this thing. Well, though I wouldn't have necessarily known that Rail was trying to distract it. Right now, I'm just kind of oh shit. So now we have this thing and something huge right behind it.
As near as you could tell, yeah. I mean,
Rail
you're
has not identified that this was him that did this.
Well, I mean, he casted a spell right next to you, so.
Thaumaturgy is
that's true.
V and S, right? Just verbal and
just
somatic?
Just verbal.
Oh, okay.
It's basically
I get the
calling
problem here.
yeah, it is pretty much calling out to your deity to do something. It's like do
Okay.
something.
Just a minor display of a...
Do something.
Well, Rail doesn't actually have a deity.
There's very few deities in Ravnica, and
Yeah, but
that is a
Still,
whole nother
that's the
story.
basic idea of thaumaturgy, where it's like I shall like feel the power of my god.
So basically, you heard Rail growl, and like that sound be mimicked farther away.
Okay, so I've probably been around his kind enough to know. Okay, this is a spell.
His kind.
I've
What do you,
not
what
been
do you mean,
around
you
him,
people?
but I've been around other researchers.
Oh,
Most
I don't know what
researchers
you were
aren't clerics, as
implying.
far as I know.
I was gonna say, he's like,
I thought Ingrid was bad about it.
like here I am thinking, man, researchers must pull pranks on each other all the time for him to be like, yeah, no, this is him.
Not quite.
But yeah, we definitely need to get into position and alpha strike this guy.
Yeah, so I mean, like at this point, I've definitely like gotten my longbow and like have readied an arrow. I think
I'm
we're pretty
yanking a like a wushu dart out, and he's like,
yeah, any spellcasters, if there's anything you need to do to prep for a fight, I would recommend you do it.
Nothing that would not tip it off.
Yeah.
Going.
And at this point, I would probably have realized that the pseudo dragon has some psychic powers. I'm gonna ask Ingrid, like, is there anything your pseudo dragon can do to scare this creature away, or in some way?
Nothing that would not tip it off.
and here I was about to say, okay, go ask Ingrid.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bad about switching between out of character and in character, but yeah, so I'm basically like at the ready, like almost.
I think I probably moved up to where he is, so he's not making so much noise talking to me. Like I've noticed he's getting talky, so I'm moving up.
Yeah,
he is definitely getting talky.
So, anyways, I've drawn my bow and arrow.
Anyone else, like y'all are going to try and do a coordinated strike?
Ingrid is already coordinated.
I'm going to just ready my grip on my cane.
Okay.
dart in hand,
Anyone making the attack? Go ahead and make your attack roll then.
doing it.
Okay, so I guess
The initiative or just do an attack?
Just do an attack.
Surprise.
Y'all are in. This is a surprise round.
Okay, I'm going to do the hex and the blast. I'm going to go ahead and declare mine first so I can give it attack disadvantage. Maybe that'll help them. I don't know. My attack was a 1 though, so I did not hit it. I just hexed it.
I got a 13.
Okay.
Not sure.
It was a 6,
have
but a natural one.
All right. Fair dear, what'd you roll?
I got a 11 for me and a 3 for K.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage for Grigum and K.
Wait, what?
You said K attack too, right?
He got a 3 accuracy.
Oh, I thought you said you. Wait, what? Okay, give me your attack rolls again.
Okay, I got an 11 to hit. He got a 3 to hit.
Oh, I thought you said 13. Okay. All right. So Grigum's the only one that hits.
So just me. Wow. Okay, so 7 damage, piercing.
Okay. So let's pull that up.
But if I see him approaching the creature, I'd like to actually go in the room too.
Well, it knows y'all are there now, because Fairdeer shot an arrow over its head, then Grigum threw a dart at it, which hit it in like the side, and like went back, and then Kay ran up and went, "Ruh, ruh, ruh, ruh," started barking at him.
I'm just saying she's going to mix it up. She's going in the room this time.
Okay, give me a second. We are transitioning to... There we go. And... hold on. Let me I don't know why it keeps on shrinking these things down to like the barest space. Page settings. Okay. Then that. Lesson learned. Check all your things beforehand.
Yeah.
Objects. There's the one that's eating.
And I'm guessing the other one is hiding.
The other one's not there. I was testing stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
Go ahead and place your characters.
Let's just assume this is like the bend. Wait, actually, is that enough range? I think so.
Yeah, you can shoot your area like a couple 100 feet. You should be fine.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the one that has to be like right here because of my dart being like 20 feet. Like, optimal.
Rail is running in with K then?
Yeah, as soon as I...
Alright.
Sorry, sometimes the things don't... Okay, so I'm going to assume... He missed, but can we say like he got in back of him? Or no?
I'll allow him to circle around.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and roll initiative.
13. It's like
20.
Oof. That would be 6 plus 1. 7.
Griggum?
13.
Oh, right, you're 13. Sorry. Sorry, I'm here.
Sorry.
I have 21. Watcher has 20.
Okay. Oh, wow. Faraday, Watcher, and K are all going on the same one. And the ghoul is last at 6.
Okay, sorry, something I haven't been able to figure out. What kind of action is drawing a weapon or putting on a shield?
Ready.
That's a ready action. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
These are
it's assumed that you can draw your weapon and make an attack in the same run. Or you can draw an arrow and fire that arrow in the same run.
Okay.
As long as it's like just one, you can do it.
Because
if you have
I need a free hand to cast Shillelagh is the problem. So I can't have the shield out and hold the club and cast Shillelagh at the same time.
No. You would need to like bonus action Shillelagh, and then primary action would be ready the shield.
And then I can't attack in the same turn.
maybe you can get a club torch made.
See, when I said if the spellcasters could get ready because we're about to attack, this is kind of...
All right. So
I was searching the rule book.
21.
I just have to take.
Eldritch Blast. I already have Hex on it, so...
You're within 5 feet of it, so you have disadvantage.
Oh, yeah. Then I don't want to be within 5 feet of it, so I'll be here.
All right, you're moving back, or are you starting there? Because if you're moving back,
I think I would have known I would have disadvantage getting that close, so...
Okay.
But I'll watch that later. I have disadvantage getting that close with Spell Sniper still?
Spell Sniper just lets you ignore cover and deal extra damage.
Yeah.
It's Crossbow Expert that lets you fire into combat.
Okay. So, I did not make that. I don't think I got an 11.
11? Yeah, no, you kind of fire at it, and it just drops down like... Oh. All right, let's see. Next is Watcher, Rail... Oh, wait, no, sorry. Watcher, Faradir, and then K.
Watcher is just going to send it pictures of hunks of meat in the northeast corner.
It's telling it. It's not like trying to create the illusion, correct?
Yeah, it's like sending it mental pictures of, hey, there's meat in the corner. Yummy, yummy meat.
Okay. Faradir.
Okay, so I am pretty sure I can shoot over Griggum.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a problem. But Rail...
Oh, hell no. It's like not a problem at all.
That would be a little bit of a problem, so... I'm assuming...
Rail is currently giving it half cover. so it has a +2 to its AC from your current lineup.
Okay.
Apologies.
However, if he's willowy, as per his name, rail thin.
You can
Not
make the
quite.
shot, or you can try and move to a more advantaged position.
I think
Like maybe this corner over here.
here, or just probably here.
Okay,
Honestly.
go ahead and make your move. Remember your movement restrictions.
4, it's 20, I have 30, I believe. So I think that's good. Yes.
All right, go ahead and make your attack. That will remove Rail from providing cover.
Yes. I don't, because in all honesty, I do not want to shoot my coworker in the head. That would be a lot of paperwork. Okay.
My insight check I did not roll does not agree with your statement, but that's okay.
21 to hit.
21, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, that's 1d8. Okay, that's a 5 piercing.
5.
Uh-huh.
Alrighty. You shoot the arrow, and like where the dart hit him, you're like, oh, okay, aim for that arrow. And it's like, and it kind of like looks down at the thing and breaks it off.
Okay,
It
K.
doesn't seem to react with pain.
No. If K attacks, he has advantage due to flanking with Rail.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's going to be 13 plus 3, 16.
16 to hit? Yeah, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
1d6. 4 plus 1, 5.
5.
Piercing.
Alrighty. -5. So, K kind of like lunges at it and latches onto his arm, drags him a bit, and worries the muscle tissue. And it's a strength check against to be knocked prone, right?
I think so. Oh, yeah, it's DC 11.
It does not make that. K just hauls it down to the ground.
I forgot about that. That's cool. Okay.
All right, it is prone, so it has disadvantage against melee attacks. But y'all already have advantage against melee attacks if you're in whatchamacallit, flanking with it. So next is number 13, Grigum.
So the next person attacking has advantage.
It's prone, so anyone making melee attacks against it has advantage.
Brilliant. It's like, so I'm going to sit my ass here. It's like, that wouldn't be in his way, would it? It's like,
Nope. Well, no, he can make that. It's threatening the kneel, but he can make it.
so now I'm going to attack it with my staff. I'm going to use both hands for versatile property. It's like, haha, I like, got me, let's see, 18 plus 6. It's like, so that's a 24. It's like,
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage.
all right. Since I'm using both hands, this is going to be, it's like a D8 plus 4. It's like, that's a 10 total. I'm going to spend a key point and do flurry of blows. It's like,
Okay. Well, your staff strike comes down on it, and there's like just this like Gallagher watermelon across the floor.
oh, okay. In that case, I will not spend that key point.
And I can assume the body it was eating is more than a few turns old, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to just try to avoid the spray.
Go ahead and roll to avoid the spray. No, I'm kidding. You're fine.
Dexterity.
Now, what do you think this is? Shadowrun?
Ingrid goes up to the body it was eating and takes her little scythe at her hip and cuts the neck on that body just to be sure.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
could I do a medicine check on the corpse?
Okay. So Ingrid, you're walking up to, like, right next to it. Okay. And as you move, there is a slight stirring in the bone pile near the room, and another one slowly starts to emerge out of it. Low
Emerge out of
growl. Yeah, out of the bone pile.
Okay, are we taking the same?
Nope, combat has not been broken. In fact, it's that thing's turn.
The same.
Wait, I didn't take my turn yet.
Oh, wait, did I skip you? Oh, sorry, 7, yeah.
Yeah, I was one above it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am going to. You know what? I'm going to cast Shillelagh on my club, and then I'm going to ready my shield.
So technically, should I be back if it wasn't a turn when I could move to
No, that's fine.
investigate? Okay.
Combat wasn't broken, but we were combat wasn't broken, but we were operating outside the turn order.
Okay. And I'm going to move over here, I believe. That's 2 spaces. That should be good.
You're approaching it? Okay.
Yes.
So you kind of like shield up, swole crawl ready, you know, approaching it like, and just leaps at you, making a bite attack first for, ooh, that is 20 to
That
attack.
hits.
Okay, that is. Oh, okay. It latches onto you, like just grabs your shoulder and shakes its head back and forth, trying to get at the meat of your neck, and you take 7 points of damage.
Oof.
It's like,
Not a pleasant feeling.
it's like chewing at
And
your
it
neck.
ruins my coat.
Yeah, there's like from the bite.
Bastard.
All right, so stop top of the turn order.
I'm gonna take a bonus action to move my hex to it.
Okay, the shadows kind of like start swirling around it, and you can notice like its physicality starting to wane a little.
And I'm going to try for Eldritch Blast. 22.
22. Go ahead and roll damage.
A 7.
All right. So your blast like strikes it into his shoulder and spins it around, knocking it off of rail.
And I target strength again.
Okay. I kind of assumed it was the same one. That's why it's like it wasted a little.
Appreciate the save.
All right. So next is Watcher.
I just sends it random icons to see if it'll confuse it.
Okay. It. And then Fair Deer.
Okay. Question: is this space valid, or are the bones like?
You can climb up on top of it. It's about 4 feet high, piled up with like a bunch of bones. You couldn't see that from the doorway. You saw it when you rushed in, but you haven't really had time to stop and inspect it.
Okay. So bigger question: so could I move Kay like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd assume technically this would be difficult terrain, but I believe his movement speed would.
Kay moves after you though, so you have to do your turn first.
Okay.
So go ahead and move that puppy back.
So I'm going to move to there, and I think that's a clear shot diagonally. Without getting in the way of rail, because again,
Mhm.
not to snipe my coworker in the back of the head. That's going to be a 17 to hit.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage again.
That's 7, 8, 9, 10 piercing.
10 piercing? Jeez.
Yeah.
You basically just like aim down, like you have that perfect shot, and then you let go, and it just like completely through it, and you can see it sticking out of the wall. There's like a pretty big hole in the body now. of the creature that just mauled Rail. All right, so now it's Kay.
Okay, so Kay's going to move here for flanking.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an athletics for Kay as he climbs up there.
Sorry, what the athletic strength?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a 10.
10. Kay clambers up on top of it, and then with a yelp falls and rolls off, landing about 5 feet over, as another ghoul emerges out of the pile of bones. And it's like...
So Kay would be here?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 more or 1 more?
Another one. Oh, whoops. There we go.
Another one.
I was about to say, this feels like a nest now.
This feels like a bad idea.
Spawn point.
All right, so it's still Kay's go.
Okay, so
He just tumbled down in surprise as he woke up a ghoul that was nesting in a pile of bones.
so if he moves again, it would be an attack of opportunity.
If he moves out of that 5-foot range, yes.
Okay, so if he moves back,
He would need to take the disengage action to avoid an attack of opportunity or get very lucky.
Can he disengage both at once?
Yeah, as long as you take the disengage action, you cannot be attacked by attacks of opportunity. But it'll eat his action for the turn.
I think he's gonna back up.
All right, you using disengage, or are you just going to risk the attacks of opportunity?
I think I'm gonna level with you. I don't quite know what the disengage action completely.
Okay, what the disengage action does is you use your action to make it so you can't be attacked with an attack of opportunity. So basically, you're warding, you're backing away, you're crouching down, you're moving without being attacked. You're defending yourself as a move.
And taking your action by doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to do that. He was very surprised, and he's going to back up instinctively.
All right, so he
There
yelps.
seem to be weird monsters coming from the pile.
So he yelps, rolls off, backs up, and growls.
Yeah, exactly.
Very glad you did that.
Yeah. I think that, instinctively as an animal, he's going to be like, well, I can't take these two on at once, so I'm going to not get in this fight directly right now.
Okay, Grigum, you're up.
All right. So I'm gonna start skedaddling all the way this way.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a strength check as you climber up on top of the mound of bones.
Just a straight strength.
Sorry, athletics.
Athletics. Okay. That's better. I'm trained in that. Ooh, that's actually pretty darn good. 22.
Okay, you just kind of up the side of it, you can hear the bones crunching under you. It's climbing up the side of it. It's a good 3 feet up, but not really much of an issue for you.
I'm used to scrambling over piles of crap. Even before my monk training. So then, I wouldn't say that I'm in a higher position than this dude, right?
You're about equal to it now. It's just basically this low, 15 foot long, 3 foot tall mound of bones.
Yeah, even if I was higher ground, I basically am eye level with it now.
Yeah, and it was looking down at Kay, and as you approach,
I am not even going to give pause to that as I whirl my staff around and go for another strike. It's
okay. Oh, you get your key point back because you didn't make those.
Yeah,
you didn't. You would have known after the staff strike that
yes,
it's dead and not have spent your key point. So you're up. Go ahead.
Here we go. +6. And two-handing. It's like,
You slipped on the bones.
that was one.
You like reach yourself, so bring it down, and it looks up at you, and there's like this spark in its eyes, and it's like hand directly up, grabbing the staff, and kind of twists it and tosses it out of its way.
I deck it in the face. Key point.
And then the bones shift, and you kind of lose balance a little bit.
At this point, I wish I was human with Tavern Brawler because I would have loved to just immediately grab one of the bones and smash it upside its head.
You still can. You just won't have advantage with it.
I know. I won't have proficiency with it.
Yeah. What I say, advantage?
The GM does not need bad things help.
Sorry.
All right, go ahead and make your attack rolls.
Okay, it's like I roll both of these at the same time. It's like, okay, so that is a 18 and a 21. It's like,
those both hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
all right.
While he's rolling that, I would like to point out that the creatures would naturally avoid me.
Yeah, they haven't looked at you.
10 total. I was like
10 total?
Yeah, like I rolled 2 ones. Plus 4 each.
It's like, so you're all like, it's all, and you're all, ah!
It's like,
Okay, now it's Rails go.
Alright. So
Whack
there's
it with your stick.
there's 2 ghouls. Do you think there's room in the bone pile for more?
There were 3 ghouls in there. It's about a 15-foot long bone pile, about 3 feet high.
I think we've reached our limit on.
Oh, just for safety, I'm going to turn undead.
Okay, that is a wisdom saving throw.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, wisdom saving throw DC is 14.
14 for each of them. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And they are feared of you, or let's see here. Let me pull
If
that
they
back up.
fail the saving throw, they're turned for 1 minute or until they take any damage.
So they have to move as far away from you as they can.
Yes, they
Okay.
cannot willingly move to a space within 30 feet of me, and they can't take reactions.
Oh, wait. Does it say that, or does it say they have to move away from you? Feature and traits.
A turned creature must spend its turn trying to move as far away from you as it can.
There we go.
And the only actions they can use are the dash action or to try to escape from an effect that prevents them from moving.
Okay, so...
If there's nowhere to move, they can dodge.
Alright, then it hits both of them. That was your action. You have a bonus action if you have a bonus action to use.
I don't have any bonus actions I can take at the moment, but I'm just going to shout out, "Be gone!"
Okay, so you hoist your staff, and the raven eyes, just like the crow eyes. Sorry, I don't know why. Like kind of
It's a
flash.
bird. It's a nondescript bird. I just call it a crow.
Crow. They both look up at it, and they like. And let's see here. It is this one's turn first, so it's going to move. It's 30-foot speed, so it moves here, and as it moves out of your range, you can make an attack of opportunity against it. Or you can pass on the attack of opportunity if you want, Rail.
Sure. So that's with the shillelagh, which is going to be 9 plus 6 is 15.
15, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, damage is 7 plus 4, 11 damage.
11 damage. It basically, like, it starts to creep away from you. Like, we ain't done. You grab it and just smash it in the side of the head with your staff, and its body just goes limp in your grip.
Giving it a good drubbing.
All right. Then the other one also failed your thing, so it has to start moving away. And let's see here. It goes here, here, and at this move, Griggum has an opportunity for attack of opportunity if you want to take it.
Oh, you know I am. It's like,
Hmm.
can be barehanded here. It's like, I want to use. You know what? I got to give it faith.
Good luck.
Let's see. What's a 14 to you?
That'll hit it. Go ahead and roll damage.
Gosh,
Bonk.
give it a good swift kick as it passes. And it's like 5.
Okay, so you like give a quick hit, and you can actually hear like the bone crack from where your foot impacted, and its leg's a little twisted now. Let's see, that's 5, 10, 15, so 25 and 30, and it moves out of Kay's attack range, which gives it Kay an attack of opportunity if he wants to use his reaction.
He does. That's 22, I believe, to hit.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. That's 6, and I think that it still not prone?
Yeah, if he fails a strength check.
This
That is
ghoul
a
not having
1.
A good day.
Like, just like the previous one, like Kay leaps, grabs it by the throat, and hauls it down to the ground. So it does not get to move out of that range because it is now prone, and it doesn't have enough movement speed left.
Once it takes damage, it's no longer turned, by the way.
Yeah, but it is now prone.
Yes, it's having a bad day.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not doing well. Okay, so next one up is we're at the start of the round, and is Ingrid.
Moving hex.
Okay, the wasting shadows kind of coil around it, almost like chains now.
And 18 to hit it?
Are you using Eldritch Blast?
Yes.
It's prone, so you have disadvantage.
Okay, let me roll again. 16, no, 14 to hit it.
That'll hit it. Go ahead and roll damage.
And this time, unlike last time, I'll try to remember my hex damage.
Yeah, that's some serious damage.
Um, 13.
13? How do you kill it?
Just kind of just go for general burning it for safety. So she's just like holding out her hand and kind of sustain blast and
Okay, so you
going for the charring effect.
So you basically like direct the energy from your palm out to it, and it shoots like the 10 feet, and it's just laying on the ground, and Kay like yelps and backs up just in time as this wave of like purple-black eldritch energy just erases it from existence, leaving just this black smear on the ground.
And then she's going to go up and finish slitting the throat of the other one just in case.
Okay, and with that, combat is done. I will transition us back to our roleplay screen, and you guys can talk.
Okay.
I don't think my course will ever be the same.
Do a medicine check on the corpse.
She goes over to Rail, pats his back, and cleans him up. It's like, at least it'll be clean.
Are you using prestidigitation?
Yeah.
So the blood just like vaporizes off of the coat.
So, bones. Ignore them, burn them, sift them, sniff them with the dog?
I think Kay's probably already investigating the bones.
Kay is an excellent dog.
Go ahead and roll perception. Well, no, investigation, since you're not looking for anything, you're just sorting through them.
And I forgot, does Kay look perfectly normal?
Kay looks like just a giant mastiff. He's like the size of a Great Dane, but he's the physicality of a mastiff.
He's a big dog.
And I'm assuming this relies on smell.
Investigation?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. Never mind.
Yeah, investigation is an intelligence, I think.
Yeah, 18.
18. He sniffs through it, and he has like just some thigh bone. He's pretty happy there.
I give him scritches.
He leans into it, like kicking a little.
You can pet him if you want.
Wow, those are super aggressive.
Nah, pet him. Come on.
So
Oh, not him.
I'm gonna check the corpses.
Go ahead and roll. I'll say roll investigation for rolling the corpses.
Alright, okay. Mostly looking for like stuff that might be on them, identifying things like what they may have once, who they may have once been, so on and so forth. Like,
I start like stacking the bones to the side with Mage Hand while he's
13.
doing that.
Okay, so 2 males, 1 female. They're all dead without a stitch of clothing on them. One of them is the corpse that was eating because the other ghoul got literally evaporated, sublimated. I don't know. What is the term for it when you like just reduce something down to a smear?
discombobulated?
Okay, yeah.
Destroyed.
Owned.
So I'd like to do a medicine check on the corpses to see how they died.
Eating.
Well, okay. The corpse near Rail had someone grab it by its throat and then beat it in the side of the head with something pretty large and solid.
Sorry, I meant the corpse that was being eaten.
Okay, that one, it looks like it just suffered like some burns and like someone had taken claw marks and dragged them through its flesh.
Yeah,
There's
like,
no clothing at all. Not even
No,
threads.
none, they are all like even the one that was being eaten is naked, and it looks like it's been dead a while.
like a part of me wants to say that this thing may have been dragged out of a grave to be eaten because that's kind of the thing the ghouls do. But at the same time, it's like can't think too often when someone just is buried nude.
Go ahead and roll me religion one more time.
I wonder if Ribald made it this far or if they've come since then.
That's a
It's possible that someone's been dumping corpses in here.
So this was our last known
yeah, no,
unexplored path?
that's a 5. And like,
Okay, so in order asked, it is not outside the realm of possibility in your mind that a cannibalistic undead creature would eat one of its own if it died. In fact, that kind of makes a lot of sense to you. No, you have not seen any sign of Ribald since he left that room. I don't remember what you asked, Rail.
I'm just musing that it's possible that somebody's been dumping corpses here.
Okay.
We don't know if these creatures killed these people or just found the bodies.
Yeah.
And
Sort of. Oh, sorry. Sort of out of character. I forget. Like for the greater knowledge of Ravnica, do the Golgari typically cremate bodies?
No. You would have to ask our resident Golgari.
So that's
Once you find out.
not a general knowledge thing.
You know the Golgari are the ones that you call when there's a dead body to pick up.
But what they do with it isn't general knowledge.
Would you tell people what you did with the dead body?
I'm just asking. Okay.
So I've been sifting the bone pile a little bit. I send Watcher to look for any keystones near the ceiling or anything in case someone's been dropping a body down, since Rail brought up the possibility maybe someone's dropping things down.
Yeah. Also, can I use medicine to see what kind of creatures these skeletons are? You're on mute.
You don't really need to roll it. It's pretty obvious. Most of them appear humanoid. You're not sure about the one that got vaporized, but the one that Rail basically just beat down on has slightly pointed ears.
Okay, and like the bone pile, like can I use medicine to determine like kind of rather quickly like what these bones were originally?
I mean, there's a lot of them. Go ahead and roll medicine, though.
Yeah, just like if I could just take like 5 and be like, okay, these are elderly humans, or you know what I mean? Okay. That would be a 23.
Okay, so you start digging that through, and you pull out like an elongated skull that you recognize as probably Vidalkin's, and you dig through and you find like one that's kind of got like the pointed snout that is reminiscent of the Shinos. You dig out one that looks like just like a single eye, and you oh hey, Luxodon probably. It looks like a tiny elephant skull, and you go through and you pull out about bones from 4 or 5 different races, just an odd jumble of them piled together into like some sort of little nest.
Hey, don't mess up my pile. You got to put the ones that are sorted over there.
And can I determine like age? Like, are they like elder, or is it just kind of all over the place?
I mean, the flesh has been stripped off of them. You can see like there's bite marks and the bones have been worried. So somewhere between an hour ago and maybe a year, they've been skeletonized. There's no flesh left.
Yeah, I thought like you could tell like if they had like osteoporosis and that sort of thing.
I mean, it takes a while for like bones to break down like that, and not all species like have bone loss. In fact, some species actually gain more bone mass as they age.
Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna go off camera for a second, but I'm still paying attention. Thank you.
Oh, did Watcher? Should I roll for Watcher to see if he sees any upper
Go ahead.
keystones?
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
21.
No sign of any keystones or traps or anything like that. He's basically like settled down into a corner and is watching y'all.
So I'm just sorting the pile, just going like moving the bone at a time to go through the pile, make sure there's no missing buried coins in it. And I'm like, so guys, I think we're out of tunnels. Any ideas?
I mean, we could check around or beyond the lava, like there's some area there we haven't checked. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. They said there's a bend right there, so could be the other way from the entrance.
Yeah, we can make a quick check of that. We're like, just got to get past some lava. No big deal.
Yeah, and might want to
And then watch us to spend 30 minutes trying to navigate. Anyway,
so
we make our way to the lava.
Okay, y'all are all going to the lava room?
Did I find anything?
Nope.
Okay. My best guess would be all of these bodies were tossed down here without clothes. Just, from my observations. Okay, let's head back.
Okay, question. Is there any arrow? I think there's at least one arrow that missed. Is there any other arrows I can recover?
Oh, right. You made 2 shots, right?
I made 3.
3? It takes you about a minute to dig the one out of the wall, but you managed to recover that one, and you managed to recover another one that you shot into the first ghoul.
Okay.
The one that you shot into the one that got vaporized is unrecoverable.
Fair. I'm just trying to keep track of my arrows.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
So y'all make your way back to the lava room. It takes about maybe 5 minutes to like, okay, we went this way. It's made a lot easier by the fact that someone has been marking your tunnels. And you'll find your way through that last little 20-foot hallway into this 20-foot wide, 30-foot long room, a glowing river of liquid magma coming from like a, like, not a hole so much as just like someone took a chunk out of it, or a chunk of it broke through and lava just started pouring down and out and then across the way. It looks to be about a good 20-25 feet across.
Are we on the other side or are we on the same side?
You are on the east side. There is an opening on the west side.
But we're on. Sorry, when we came here before, we're at the same.
Y'all are on the same side that y'all came in before. Your like marking is right over there with like the one.
I might as well. I guess I'll just like. This is probably a shot in the dark, but could I do a roll for knowledge of any active like volcanoes in the area?
Sure, go ahead. Make a history roll.
Sure.
Y'all are assuming that y'all are in the same precinct.
13.
I would also like to make a roll of any lava that coincides with swamps.
All right, make a history roll as well. What did you roll, Fairdeer?
13.
13?
Non-natural 20.
Non-natural 20? All right, so you don't have any real, like, okay, there's a lava pocket here or a lava pocket here in the Undercity.
Right.
However, Ingrid, you do know that there's several points in the Undercity where, is it pumping stations generate a tremendous amount of heat, which could be enough to liquefy rock.
I ask Watcher to listen for machinery.
All right, go ahead and make the perception roll.
Non-natural 20.
It kind of like and looks at you.
What did it do?
It turns its head this way and this way looking. It's like, nope.
Okay.
Well, sadly, I'm not lava-proof, so we should be
So
careful.
obviously I can skitter across, but carrying people would be probably something I don't. I guess I haven't tried carrying people across the ceiling, but
Not that you remember.
try it now.
I mean, you have a
Possibly
strength
not
of
the
12.
best time to try it.
Are there any crenellations or anything decorative that are along the ceiling line?
Not really. You see, like, what looks like a divot or a recession, like something chipped out a bit of stone. And for a second, it takes you before you realize it looks a lot like the mark that Fairdeer's arrow left after it shot through the ghoul and stuck in the wall.
Hey guys, that looks like someone hit maybe a grappling hook or maybe like an arrow with a rope over there. I don't know how much I trust that if there's lava behind some of the walls, but, you know, just pointing it out. It's totally a bad idea, though.
If we were all humanoid, I'd be tempted to just crawl over and just do kind of a rope bridge. But because we have K, I'm a little bit. I mean, so this drop is like 20 feet, right? Or was it 20 feet across? Sorry.
It is, the lava flow is 20 to 25, depending on like what point you are. The ceiling is about 10 feet up.
Okay, so I guess my question is that what's the width of the river compared to the amount of how far it is before you hit lava?
At the narrowest point, like with the least amount of room, there's like 5 feet. At the area where there's like the most amount of room, there's about 15. It kind of curves at an angle through the room.
Is that width or height?
Width. Height, the room is constant, like 10 feet tall, and the river of the lava flow is just flowing along the ground level.
Does
Okay.
the channel look regular for the lava, or like it was maybe eroded over time?
It looks like it's been there long enough to like create a channel for it. There's like a couple edges where there was a rivulet, but it's worn the stone down a bit and it stopped flowing along that path.
I mean, 5 feet across is jumpable.
No, it's 20 to 25. The narrowest point of like space that you can stand on is 5. It basically at the northern part of the room there's a 5-foot space, and at the southern part of the room there's like a 15-foot space.
Gotcha. Okay.
You're muted.
Would advise that we not.
On the opposite wall to the lava, if I put my hand near it, does that wall feel warm at all?
You don't feel any heat in that wall. It's flowing into like another opening, a lot like the water was, but it's hotter towards it. But like the upper part, like where you just reach out and touch the wall, you don't feel much heat there.
I'd like to let them know to get back, and I'd like to aim a couple blasts at that wall. Maybe if there's an intervening room that doesn't have a hole or something, maybe there's a crossover point or something.
Like I'm getting some Zelda searching for a secret area like vibes from this.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make your attack roll, Ingrid.
24.
Okay, roll damage.
Can I hex the wall first? Just kidding.
I'm normally pretty permissive as a DM, but I'm going to have to say no.
I know, that's why I said just kidding. Only 4 damage.
4 damage. You like blast it, and there's like a little dip, maybe like a half an inch.
From going through doorways before, do I have a good idea of how thick the walls are when we approach corridors?
You get the impression that like the walls, they're not exactly thin. They may be like 3 to 5 feet thick in some places. The room you left is about 20 by 20, and this room is also 20 foot wide, and the corridor was like 20 feet long, and there's like a little 5-foot brick at each one where the room expands out from the corridor, so it could be entirely like 20 feet thick for all you know.
I'll give her another couple blasts at that non-lava side, figuring maybe the walls been heat damaged a bit, just see where I get.
Go ahead and make me another attack roll.
19.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage.
Only 4 again. This D10 doesn't like me.
You like carve out like maybe it's a full inch deep now. It's about maybe that wide.
Never mind, guys. This rock is not super odd with necromantic energies.
No.
I mean, I think I was envisioning like cutting some stairs up or something, or finding a hidden room to jump around, and it's just totally not happening.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like I said, I can climb across the ceiling, so we can do the rope bridge. I just don't know how to get Kay over unless.
Are you and Watcher can scout, and if it's a dead end, we don't need to go to all this trouble yet.
I mean, you climb with your tentacles, so you could very easily hold someone in your arms. Or hold a dog.
Okay, do we
Even
just
1K size?
do that?
You can generally hold a creature of equal or lesser size than you in a grapple, which allows you to move someone. Especially if they're not resisting or fighting you.
Yeah. So, I mean, Axios across. I kind of would rather, because we already know that there was an infestation of ghouls that the lizard took care of, and there may be more. I'm kind of hesitant to take this on by myself. No offense to your dragon.
Okay, well, let's do a backup. Embed one of those arrows like maybe someone did before with a rope. Tie a simple carry harness and give us a chance in case, you're slippery.
Sure.
And that way,
Sure
if
that
you
we-
fall, maybe there's something you can grab onto, in case.
Yeah, I think my first pass is going to be trying to do something. I want to say, don't I have rope and pittance? I know I have rope. I thought I got pittance.
Let's take a look here. You have backpack, bedroll, common traveler, ink pin, mess kit. You have hemp rope.
But no pittance.
Nope.
Does
And
anybody have
we've explored every other room.
As near as y'all can tell, y'all have checked everything on your side.
Yeah, does anybody happen to have like pittance, or I think I'm using the correct term. It's the things you put in rocks that hold weight.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. And no, it's like,
Yeah.
at best, I can offer you a wushu dart in this trying time.
Just
I'm afraid I don't have anything that would really help there.
okay.
I want to go over and just kind of
Crossbow bolts, that's about it.
investigate the lava wall itself. Make sure it seems as solid as it is.
Okay.
Poke it a bit.
Go ahead and make a roll.
12.
All right, this is an investigation. You kind of poke around where it's, and getting just even close to it, you can feel the heat coming off. It's not like it is in the movies where it's anything coming close to lava is instantly vaporized or anything like that. But it's you can hold your hand near for about 3 seconds, so it's really, really hot. The wall itself is radiating heat out from it, but the stone doesn't seem to be giving too much more than just a little bit at a time where the lava is flowing through.
Okay. I'm pretty sure we tried this before, but
I mean, you have no memory
Can
of
we-
yesterday.
no, I mean, no. What I mean to say is that just a few minutes ago, we probably have tried this before, but surely we can maybe blast some handholds across the side of the other wall. I was like,
I mean, y'all can try. It took her 2 shots to dig about an inch in.
I think at this point, I'm going to assume that we're going to go with some variation of the me taxing people over. So
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty light. I could probably get on the other side.
With
and
the backup
hold something.
arrow rope harness.
yeah, so I'm assuming that time isn't really of the essence. So I'm going to be just slowly trying to sort of map a path, going very slowly to make sure no stones are going to fall out or anything like that.
Hey, shoot 2 arrows up there for us to tie to while you're at it.
I mean, there is a bit of a ticking clock because it's been a couple hours now, and you're not sure how long you have before your memory for the past 24 hours wipes. Because y'all woke up, y'all could have slept until noon for all you know. You have no idea about the time of day.
True, but it's usually 24 hours since we last slept, or if we slept again. It's from what we've understood from conversations, and so a couple of hours is a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, I mean, you figure you have somewhere around 6 to 12 hours before you're in danger of forgetting.
Yeah. With that said, we're probably not going to spend more than an hour trying to get across this, even with taxiing.
Unless we wind up falling in, which will kind of
Hurt
put
a
those.
lot.
Yeah, but really, this just feels like a time-consuming room rather than a full-on dangerous room.
I kind of think that we could just do the taxi thing across at the lowest.
I feel like considering our gaming time limit is we're probably overthinking. It's
yeah.
the safety mechanisms we
I
should
mean,
have. It's like,
I still feel like that long hallway's got something.
It had a drip of water at the end.
I kind of would rather go out to what we know is an exit, if the wizard is correct. Because of the whole 24-hour thing.
Wizard?
lizard.
What would? Huh? Oh,
Huh?
right.
Rybald.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was confused there.
Yeah, because
Sorry, anybody that is capable of magic such as portable hole, I'll just call wizard. Obviously, that may not be his official race.
I mean, considering that he didn't use any magic in front of us, he used a
My
magic
character's
item.
definitely not the most biased one in the game, so that's cool.
Oh, so
What
if
if I
y'all are,
said that was biased?
so if y'all are going to try and taxi across, make any safety precaution rolls that y'all want to make.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Like, let's.
Did you put the arrows?
Yeah.
We're assuming yes.
All right. The ceiling's pretty easy to hit, but hitting the ceiling hard enough and at the right place to get the arrows to stick is not necessarily.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead and make those attack rolls.
I was thinking wall near the ceiling so that there's a 90-degree pressure pull.
Okay. And you're tying the ropes to those arrows first.
Yeah, I'm tying like a simple harness just for like putting your arms through.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand check for not tying.
And I will do that because it was my idea. So we're going to use my rope. So, sleight of hand. 18.
Okay, you knot the arrows up pretty well and manage to construct a kind of semi-decent looking safety harness attached out of them, basically like... That was muted.
I just do the harness. He's got to tie the top because he can climb up.
Okay, so you kind of like shibari tie a harness around Faradir, like not make sure, give it a tug, make sure it carries his weight and stuff, okay? Faradir, go ahead and make those attack rolls to see if you can get those arrows to stick.
And I just tie a general like loop harness. It's not for him, it's whoever he's carrying.
Mm-hmm. But it's like anchored to him.
No, it's anchored to the arrows.
Oh, okay, I get it.
So that if he drops them, there's a secondary thing to catch, or if he loses his balance, he can catch onto them for a second to grab the wall again.
16.
16? Okay, you like... And the arrow just like twangs into the wall where you're aiming. It looks like it's stuck, staying in there pretty good. You got one more arrow you want to place, or you can try and do it with that.
Yeah, that one's gonna. That would be a 9.
9? You like take aim at the other one. You hear it like hits the wall, ting, and then falls, and you get to watch what happens when an arrow falls into molten lava, which is sizzle and burn and catch on fire and then disappear.
Oof.
Hold on, I need to get out some D6s just in case.
I'm chilling some of my water in my water skin and helping with hydration.
Okay.
By the by, assuming we get across this thing in one piece, I don't suppose y'all would mind taking a short rest. Just to catch our breath. I'm still bleeding a little bit from that attack.
I'm fine with it. You could probably start resting right now and just be the last one to cross. Maybe out in the hallway where it's a little bit cooler and give us an extra pair of eyes for anything approaching.
11.
Yeah.
And this is an arrow.
Okay, so the next arrow you fire, like, twang, hits the wall, and it doesn't look as tightly in there, but, I mean, it's staying in place. We'll find out.
Okay. And I'm assuming the rope burnt to the other arrow, right?
You kind of, like...
You're going to go up and tie to the arrows.
Yeah, now you have.
Oh, these were just the arrows. There was no rope to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if there was a rope attached to them, you would have been rolling that with disadvantage.
That's more secure anyway because you can test the arrows before you tie and tie around both of them.
Yeah, fair enough. So I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Basically.
So you
No.
kind of skitter up the walls, carrying the rope with you. Go ahead and make me a sleight of hand check for your first tie.
5.
5. Okay. You like. Whoa. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. You kind of loop, and it's a bow tie knot, but it looks like it's good.
I'm going to test it.
Go ahead and roll strength.
That's going to be 9.
9. Seems solid. The arrow didn't come out. The rope's still attached. Looks good.
Okay. I'm going to go on to the other side.
All right, and go ahead and make another sleight of hand check for your tie.
19.
19. Okay, you do this one right. Like, it's like knotted up there, double tied, and with a dog hitch on it. So it's like, it is not going anywhere.
Okay, I'm going to reinspect that knot. I
Okay,
guess perception roll.
give it a tug, make sure it's good.
Yeah, so this is going to be 15 perception.
Okay, it looks good.
Good. I'm going to go over, going to do a perception check on that knot.
Okay,
Make sure it looks like the... 4.
yeah, it looks good. Man, you're proud of yourself on this knot.
This is why there's 2. This is why there's 2 arrows in the plan.
A dragon that could check my handiwork.
Could I help?
Well, I mean, this is like 10 feet up in the air.
That is true.
You can ask the dragon to help in character.
Ingrid, may I borrow your dragon to check my handiwork?
Very polite.
You know, you could just ask him. His name's Watcher.
Watcher, could you help me not kill the whole party by inspecting my handiwork?
See, how hard was that?
Not very.
All right, Watcher flies up and like gives like one of them like nibbles out a little, checks it, and then flies over and checks the other as well. Go ahead and make your rolls.
Perception? Uh, 13.
Okay, and the other one?
12.
Yeah, they look good. Like, Watcher gets Faraday.
Muted.
Oh, am I? Oops.
You are.
Oh, I am? Okay.
Very good.
Now you're not.
Okay. Watcher gives Faraday a mental image of someone laying on their back in a lava pit, but then giving a thumbs up.
Okay. So who wants to be first?
Maybe you should take the puppy across.
I saw Grigum. Grigum.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty light. You can test it on me. It's like,
All right. So
Rail is busy.
let's see. Faraday's
reading.
movement is 30, as I remember.
Yeah.
So you're only going to be able to move at half of that while you're carrying someone. So go ahead and roll a strength check to make sure you can carry Grigum.
13.
13. All right.
I'm like what? It's like
You kind of
3'7". Like,
yeah, and you have like the harness that Ingrid tied as well, which is helping a bit. All right, you basically like slip the harness on Grigum, give him like a bear hug, and start moving across. And let's see how this goes. All right. You basically like carry him. The ropes get in the way a little bit because you have it coming at both sides, but you maneuver around and you kind of twist the rope, but get him over to the other side and like set the goblin down. It's like that worked.
go over to the next.
All right, who's next? All
Okay.
right,
Rail.
roll your strength check. One more time.
20.
20? Okay. You put the harness on Ingrid and you give her a hug, hold her against you. She's a couple a foot or so shorter than you, so it's not too much more difficult than it was with Grigum. And you carry her up and no problem getting her across. Set her down, like awkward silence for a moment.
I said apologies for the close quarters.
Okay, and she just kind of backs up.
All right, so all that's left is Kay and Rail.
Okay. Rail, do you want to go next?
K first, I think.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and roll strength check.
Hold on one moment first, though.
Hmm?
And I'm going to cast Blessing.
Okay.
Sorry, Bless.
I like that you waited until he's moving the dog.
Wow, the dog seems the hardest. So I'm going to cast Bless on Faradir, Kay, and myself.
Okay. Go ahead and roll and add a D4 to your roll.
Or sorry, that was
Simic are so clicky.
18.
18?
Managing my spell. I only have a few to cast.
Okay, so you pick Kay up and he kind of like tucks up against you. The harness is not really dog shaped, but you still kind of get him in there. And
Probably, sorry, not to, but if I notice that it's like not wieldy, I would probably do my own.
okay, I mean, it's not bad. You can slip it over his arms, but there's like a little slack to it. You carry him across, and like there's a slight tug all of a sudden, and your shoulder caught on the one of the ropes, and you look, and there's like a arrow fall, and a little fire starts creeping up along the rope. But all in all, you manage to hold on to Kay and get him across to the other side and quickly put out the fire before it reaches the harness.
Okay. And then, so the rope is just pretty much burnt. Yes.
Yeah, you lost about maybe 3 feet off of it.
Oh, okay.
Like, you're like, oh,
I do what I can to chill the rope before he goes back.
okay. So,
Okay.
one left. You still got the rope and the arrow on the other side.
Okay. So I need to replace one of the arrows, right?
You can, or you can just try and carry a rail like with the one rope that y'all got.
Did you do bless on your strength check?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, Bless is supposed to be for
Oh yeah,
saving
no
throws.
skills, right? Yeah.
Sure. Let's put a strength check.
To carry rail, or
I'm assuming, unless Rail has some other idea.
Nope.
all right,
Let's
go
go
ahead.
for it.
Just do your thing.
Okay, that's 14, 15.
15. All right, you and rail are kind of the same height, so this is like a little bit more difficult than it was with Kay. But you feel like you got a good grip on him, and you're starting to cross. And let's see.
Hold on to your favorite comb. Don't want it to fall out.
Okay. So, like, the rope that was kind of bow tied onto the arrow kind of starts. You can feel like you can kind of feel the rope getting a little slack, and then hear that distinctive hiss sound of rope hitting molten stone as the last binding comes up. But you're right there, and you're at the edge, and it starts to feel really loose and slippery, and then all of a sudden, Faradir jumps off, and y'all land like maybe 5 feet from the edge of it, and he sets you down.
Okay.
So loss of rope probably, huh?
Y'all lost like another
Let's not
foot.
do that again.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and reclaim the rest of the rope.
So you lost about 4 feet off of it.
Yeah. Are we gonna finish the short rest next, right?
Well, that's about. He got a short rest sitting there because that took
Okay.
y'all about an hour between tying the ropes and shooting the arrows and reshooting the arrows and stuff.
I'm gonna recast False Life since it's been an hour.
Okay. So y'all stand there at the entryway. There's maybe a 20-foot corridor that then turns to the left.
Okay,
Y'all
I'm
gonna
gonna
go on down? You're
Make-
doing what?
sorry. Make the appropriate markings.
Okay.
And then to the right was the exit, and then the left is the unexplored, from what he told us.
Yeah.
I think we might want to check that exit just to make sure that that is
So y'all are going down the hallway?
exit. Yes.
All right. You walk on down the hallway, you turn to the left, and it's about another 20 feet. Another 40 feet. You walk out of this low, like 10-foot tall tunnel into this massive room, a 20-foot high ceiling, 10 feet above the floor. There's this awning rail system that goes around the outer edge. 30-foot tall wooden ornate doors of just like vampires and coffins and skulls and ravens carved into this old dark wood that's stained this like deep brownish red.
So the other way looks a little safer.
And in the other rooms and in the hallway, there wasn't any carvings or anything like that. But in this room, on the wall to either side of the hallway that you're coming out of, is this spider-like symbol with like almost bladed arms and a single eye in the center.
Oh, that's lovely. What cheerful people must have put that up there.
Yeah,
Sure, they're wonderful folks.
That almost sounds like the Underdark. But that's not a thing in Ravnica, right?
Well, the
Did
Undercity.
any of us actually recognize it?
At least one of y'all should.
Yeah. I guess would it be an Arcana check or a
Does
history?
that pin down the general area for me, combined with the
Oh.
machinery and the lava?
Yeah, you are definitely sure you're in the Undercity, or at least somewhere near it.
Ooh.
Do I have any inkling of if it's Orzov or if it's actual Golgari, or which group would be the carvings?
Okay, to identify that, go ahead and roll
Non-natural
history.
20.
Non-natural 20? Okay.
So while everyone's doing this, I'm busy trying to make notes of whatever I can remember right now in my journal, just in case.
15.
15? Alright. Ingrid rolled 15. Rail, what did you roll?
Non-natural 20.
Alright. Fairdew, did you roll anything?
16.
Demage, did you roll anything, or are you just documenting?
I'm just documenting.
Alright. It's a lot more stylized and archaic than the modern version, but it's instantly recognizable as the symbol of House Demir.
Interesting.
And we will pick up here next week.
All right. None of us died
Yay.
That you know of.
that I know of so far.
That we remember was with us.
Oh, dear. All right.
No, Fairdeer.
Thank you all.
All right.
Have a wonderful week.
Thank you to everyone who joined us. I really appreciate it. I have no idea how many new followers we picked up, but hopefully you will come and join us and tell a couple friends and who will also join us next week.
And hopefully Ingrid will figure out what the deal is with the comb.
Yeah, I'm sure that's confusing like everyone else.
It's a thing.
I know.
All right. Later, all. Take care and have a good one.
Hope you all enjoyed this. It's like I enjoyed myself. It's like, and remember, it's like you enjoyed this half as much as we did making it. It's like that means we enjoyed it twice as much than you did.
And I know this is very early days. There's rough stuff. I promise you we will improve pretty much every stream on setup, sound, all that stuff. So please come back, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I hope they did well.
Okay, I think. Are we still broadcasting? Okay, it's okay. Yeah, it's finishing. We
Okay.
have a little bit of a delay.
What about the YouTube stuff?
I will do an update. I will